Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And we're getting ready to get started.
What page are we on that?
We are on page 102.
So he hadn't done finished the, okay.
With your capital
What page did you say?
102. Capital outlay, then your
Typical.
and then go through the changes to the budget. And I do have.
I'm sorry, tell me one more time, Madison. 102.
I have them here if you need them.
I didn't know he RV'd.
He said he was changing his modus operandi. Said he'd been working too hard for too long. And then this is just procedural rules and whatever you can read over, just kind of on how we operate. You know, we're already doing it, but it's like postponing things, tabling issues, things of that nature. That's what these are for, so you can read them on.
I'm
Mayor
glad
and
we get
council,
this after 8 years.
Huh?
I'm glad to get this after 8 years.
You went to Molly,
Yes, I did.
and it's
I'm just
usually
teasing.
every year. Oh, usually it's every year.
More
Yeah.
rules, more acronyms, more all these things.
Yeah.
Mayor and council, before we get started with Parks and Rec's budget, I do have a couple of updates regarding our questions on the short-term rental permits yesterday.
Okay.
Last year's fee was $300, which is our current year and what we'll be adopting in the upcoming budget. Currently, if we maintain 1,200 short-term rentals at that rate, then it's self-sustaining.
Sufficient.
Yes, program. Currently, we are at 1,300 short-term rentals.
But what about it, is it, yeah, the 300's the new rate right now.
It's our current rate. We had it last year, and that's what
Okay.
we'll maintain. We are with the federal average as well.
So, Lynn, when you were talking about the 2,000, were you thinking 2,000 more?
No, 2,000 total. That's what Christiani said, that she was going through and they're finding more. And I'm just like, where they at? I mean, so we're going to get an accurate number, and these will be ones that all have paid, the
So
registration and paying. So that'll tell us. the number.
currently, the registered and paid is the 1,300.
Okay.
So right now, it is a self-sustaining program.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and start with Parks and Rec with Matt and
Okay.
Melissa.
Good morning, Parks and Rec.
Good morning.
What's that? Oh, I did a while ago. Were you not here? I'm sorry. Go ahead. We'll go ahead and call this meeting on Crawford's birthday. Today is the 24th.
Is it really?
My
Little
birthday,
Crawford.
my grandson
Grandson.
Crawford.
I was like Little Crawford.
He's 11 today, so I've already talked to him. So today's his birthday, so.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, so we'll have called to order. I guess we'll go ahead and stand, and I haven't done any of that. Thank you, Councilor Corey. Moment of silence, please. Pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among the united cultures.
Thank you, everybody. And I should have warned everybody, I've been on sinus medicine this morning, so if you see me off
You get
wandering
loopy.
around, that's my excuse.
There you go.
So, roll call, please, ma'am.
Mayor Crawford,
Here.
Councilor Sanchez.
Here.
Councilor Corey.
Here.
Councilor Salas.
Here.
Councilor Letterman.
Here.
And Councilor Brophy.
I am here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And so we'll go in to the discussion and presentation on fiscal year 2027, Village of Ruidoso operating budget, and we're picking up with Parks and Rec today. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Yesterday was my niece's birthday, so it's a
Oh, so-
great week for birthdays.
Happy birthday to her.
So I do want to start out this morning. We are with our personnel. We currently sit at 29 personnel in the Parks and Rec Department. And this does not include the community center. We'll be presenting that budget next. They have 3, but there's 29 total in Parks and Rec. We are not asking for any additional positions this year. We did not make a request. For the first time.
So are you full?
No. I was for about a month and a half, and we lost one over this past weekend, so one resigned. But so we are one position away from being full again. But we're doing really well, yeah. Right now, we're doing well, though. And our seasonal hiring is actually looking really good.
That's great.
We had an uptick in the last couple weeks, and so we're getting there. I think we have 11 lifeguards going through the process now, so we went from like 4 a month ago to now 11. So I figured as we get closer to summer, they'll realize that they need the summer jobs, and they'll start coming in. So we're looking forward to that. Let me get the capital outlay. So I'm not sure how we've been doing capital outlay this year. You want me to go through all of it, or just the items that are in the budget? Just items in budget currently. Perfect. That's what I usually do, but I wanted to make sure. So the items we have in our budget for capital outlay for us, I'm asking for is Caterpillar 304 mini excavator with attachments. So those attachments are things like a bucket with a thumb, a jackhammer, and then a ditcher. And so the nice thing about the ditcher on the mini excavator is you can actually reach up hills, reach down hills and things like that to ditch. It's like the big chain ditcher, but it's more mobile than an actual ditching machine. So that's that, and it'll also help with a lot of digging and a lot of things like that, irrigation lines and all that kind of stuff. This is a fully enclosed cab. And we went with Caterpillar because we already have Caterpillar equipment, and so when we have the service tech come up, they can just service all of our equipment at one time instead of having different techs for different equipment.
So Matthew, on that, is that gonna be a purchase or lease on that?
Purchase.
Why would you, so the other departments are leasing just because, after 4 to 5 years, you've used that equipment so much that really it's not worth anything. You're paying more for maintenance and stuff on it. With the lease, they're actually coming up and doing the services and stuff on it. Is that something?
So with that size of equipment, we haven't experienced, for lack of better words, killing it in that useful life of 5 years. Our equipment lasts a lot longer because it's not like a street department backhoe that they use every single day. It's a piece of equipment we'll use, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but it does have a lot longer life on it. And I prefer purchasing equipment, and it puts a little bit bigger burden on the budget right now, but we have that equipment for the next 10 years without putting that burden of a lease every year.
Just a suggestion on that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm picking up on Councilor Sanchez's. I would think we would be looking at this one way or the other across the village.
Well, and we did make an effort and made a change on all the other equipment because of the maintenance issues that we have been doing in other departments.
Because didn't you say on the leases you can buy back?
We can buy back.
So at the end of the lease, they can either buy it back from you, or you can actually put that money towards a new machine inside another.
So you build equity up.
They come in and kind of do an appraisal of
Now,
it.
Matthew, with due respect, I just don't understand why we do it one way for all the other departments and a different way for yours.
And Mayor and Council, I think some of the separation there is the size of the equipment. The heavier equipment, I do believe leasing is a good option. This isn't a piece of heavy equipment. This is a piece of, I would call light equipment. And I think that does make a difference to me. If we were looking at a backhoe, I would definitely could say a lease on that. But for something smaller, the lease on this a year, I would guesstimate would be somewhere in the $15,000 range a year, at least 15 to 20 for a 5-year lease.
I think you're shy on that. And so when I took over Dynamic Dookie, we leased an excavator, a mini excavator, similar size. It was a little bit smaller than the one that you're talking about, and we also leased a skidster. We ended up paying around 50,000 a year for both of those pieces of equipment, in the lease side. And then, of course, the excavator that you're looking at, I mean, it's 105,000. So in 4 years, the lease would have paid that piece of equipment off at that 100,000. And I'm assuming that there would be a similar rate. Obviously, I don't deal with Caterpillar. I know that you guys do, and they probably have a much larger contract and probably get a little bit better price break. But on a $100,000 piece of equipment versus a $400,000 piece of equipment, I think that I can actually see where Matthew's coming from of owning it outright and still having equitable value in 5 years on that piece of equipment versus leasing it for 4 years and potentially paying more than what the actual piece of equipment is worth. And again, that's just my personal experience and opinion. And I was dealing with a third-party contractor, not a direct factory contractor for the lease.
So, do you lease all of your equipment?
We own our equipment now, because I got tired of paying 3 times what a monthly payment would be on a new piece of equipment. So I ended up just financing my own.
Okay.
Yeah, but it got us started, and it was an immediate, it was an immediate fix when we had no value to our company to purchase.
Yeah.
So,
And I'll, if I may, Mayor, agree with Matthew. It's kind of like the mowers. You see them being used 6 months out of the year and there, but I see it throughout the year, using it, like you said, 3 to 4 days or 2 to 3 days a year, maybe just half a day each day. But that, it is a good piece of equipment that's much needed for the department. And of course, how they all share their equipment with everybody, somebody else might need to use it too.
you guys don't like digging ditches by hand?
We do talk.
Come on, man.
That's what they have me for.
Oh, that's, yeah.
I've been on the end of a shovel a lot, but
Yeah, the ditch crew's not fun.
I guess a lot of it is perspective on the amount of investment.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I would love to see what a lease for that piece of equipment, that size of equipment would be, just for my own personal knowledge, but I know that that's what I experienced was,
What kind of
somewhere
maintenance program do you use on your equipment?
luckily, everything's under warranty now, because I just bought brand-new equipment. So everything's okay for the next,
For a year or?
yeah, for the next
greasing them up
48
and all
months,
that
I'm
stuff?
okay on both pieces, so.
Well, I just know when I used to have equipment, they would, bang and then it would just wear stuff out.
Oh,
And
so,
It's
yeah, it would
about
be like,
operation, and my guys would have to put the grease on it to make sure that everything, if not, then they would wear out, and they were not under warranty.
Mm-hmm. so there is like consumable parts, just like when you purchase a car, brake pads and, belts and hoses and things like that. Those aren't gonna be covered under a warranty, but if there's a catastrophic engine failure or main hydraulic system failure or electrical issue, those types of things are obviously covered, but normal wear and tear or abuse of equipment, if you will, is definitely not gonna be covered.
So, Matthew, could you talk about the capital expenditures that didn't get into the budget?
sure, I can start from the beginning and we can go through all those. So the two that are, to start out, we had tinted eye mops, so those are, they're powered floor scrubbers. They're not like the old, round scrubber, they actually have a small tank on them, they feed the fluid in, scrubs the floors and then vacuums it back up, but it's not like the big ride-on ones. They're about the size of a floor scrubber, a normal, manual floor scrubber, but they have the fluid tanks and all that. We currently have two in the department that they use to carry from building to building when they need to scrub a floor. Just for the general floor maintenance and cleanliness of facilities, it would be nice to add some of those to our department. Those are about $10,000 a unit though. Like I said, so we were looking at adding one here at Village Hall, I believe another one at the wastewater treatment plant, and then, trying to think where the third one was, maybe Horton, I believe Horton.
Are you doing janitorial?
Yes, sir.
For all buildings?
Just about all buildings. The only ones we don't touch are fire department and the airport. Yes, sir. The next one was a jet ski with a rescue deck and a trailer. And so this was for lake operations. And one with the big special events coming up, but also with the Whibbit and different things. And I did not realize that the actual fire department was asking for similar item for the similar thing, but.
Madison, was theirs approved?
No.
No, I don't
Neither-
think so.
neither one.
I'd hate to have to go in front of the public, justify buying a jet ski.
We could put Everett on it and take a picture.
I would like a ride on the jet ski if we get one, okay? Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
And so, well, you still have the boat.
Yes, we have boats and they have rescue boats, and so we have other means. This is just an added mean of use for those. Then we talked about the Caterpillar 304. The next one was 12-foot roll-offs with 3 11-yard dumpsters. This comes with the trailer. And so we rent several roll-offs a year. Part of them are paid through from the Keep Ruidoso Beautiful grant. Some of them are paid through out of our department budget. Some for cleanups, some for just general things. And this would have kept us from having to rent as many throughout the year, and we could have just went and dumped them and paid the tipping fees versus the full rental on them. This is one of those items that save us a little bit of money over time, but it wasn't a high priority, and that's why when finance asked about our high priorities, it was lower on the list.
I would like to see that, though, because, instead of renting it, we would have it for people to dump some of their stuff instead of maybe going over to a canyon and dumping their stuff.
I mean, I would say even like during the special events.
Well,
like,
and we
like
have.
have to have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we
Wingfield
do.
Park, yeah,
Yeah, no,
I mean-
we rent them.
Yeah, and how many times are y'all emptying those trash cans during Ren Fair and,
A lot.
stuff in the park?
But that's a whole nother thing. We should be charging them for all those
Yeah,
things.
I
And
agree.
we are like the fencing, the trash pickup and all that stuff we're doing. So we're just passing the expense of the,
The-
of the.
Of those dumpsters on.
If you leave that
the person, right?
dumpster open, it's gonna be full.
Oh, yeah, in a
You'll
heartbeat.
have businesses that charge customers that will use it over and over. I get that all the time from different, they'll set their roll-off in front of their job, and they come back the next morning, it's full.
It's all full.
Matt, do you have like a price agreement with the people that you rent the roll-offs from currently?
Not a price agreement, but it's, we've been going to Green Tree,
Okay.
and they're the cheaper alternative for us, United Waste.
500 to get them to drop it off plus whatever it
I
is.
believe total price, we're paying around $700 to $800.
Yeah, for them to drop it, pick it up and dump it.
Yes.
So, Madison, Matthew referred to prioritizing. Are you guys prioritizing what's not getting approved so you can decide what to buy if we exceed budget revenues?
The process that we went through, Counselor Corey, is, as the department, brought forward their request, we asked them what is the most dire expense for them.
Okay.
And that's how, we decided what to include in the budget.
Okay.
Or to exclude. And where we had extra revenues, that could be, put towards the capital outlay, that's when we added on their next priority.
Okay.
The next item we had was a telehandler, which often is referred to as a Skytrack. So it's a boom forklift essentially. So this is something that we, I believe, host the only forklift in the village. There might be one other, I'm not absolutely sure, but I know ours gets used pretty heavily by other departments too. And this is something that during disasters, things like this is one big enough to move shipping containers, things like that. But like I said, it was a fairly low priority if we have extra funds. But it's also a very high cost item. And so it's one that would be used a lot in the village, I do feel. However, we have the assets now we've managed all these years without one, so.
And which one was that, a Skytrack or?
It's called a telehandler is the actual
Just a
technical name.
regular
Yeah, it's a
telehandler?
Skytrack.
Yeah, the Skytrack's the trade name of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You use it for like setting the Christmas lights in the park and stuff too?
So we
or-
could, there's a basket attachment to them that you
Yeah,
could.
there's a man basket.
Man basket to them that you can use. There's a lot of different uses. I mean, when we get semi loads of stuff, it can actually reach into semis and pull stuff out. It's but like I said, there's a high cost to them, so.
Yeah, that's a high dollar piece of equipment for sure.
And that might be one if in the future we do see that, hey, this is something that we are gonna be needing more and more often, that might be a good piece of equipment for a lease option. But like I said, we're handling with what we got now, so. The next one is a utility tractor, so that's just to replace one of our current tractors. I put tractors, and you'll see tractors and mowers and some of the stuff. I start putting them on the replacement list when they're within about a year or two of the end of their useful life. And so it kind of gives us a window to try to replace those. So if we do have a down year, then we're not stuck without a tractor on a down year. So you'll see several of those. That utility tractor, we still have a few years of useful life out of it. We're just starting the process.
What about that one that does all the angles, that we bought a few years back?
But the Ventrax?
The Ventrax, those are still in good condition.
Good shape.
Yeah, I would say probably 2 years from now, 2 to 3 years from now is when we'll probably start seeing maybe some replacement on those, but we're having really good condition on those, so, those are still doing good.
They're goofy little tractors. Dude.
They're, I always call them the KitchenAid of the tractor world, because they got so many attachments. It's amazing. The next item is two Polaris four-wheelers, and so this is to assist with trail maintenance and getting up and around trails and things like that. We have some trails that are big enough to get Polarises down, but some that aren't, and this helps with that. This is to help with that. We currently have one four-wheeler. It's getting a little aged, but it's still fine to do its function. Next one is 2 deck over trailers. One of those is in the proposed budget right now, and one out. And so this is deck over trailers. The nice thing about them is they're a wider trailer. And so we are able to get some of our wider pieces of equipment on those trailers. They do sit higher, but they are a lot wider, and so they're easier to get equipment on. For example, our remote control mower, currently fits on one of our trailers, and that's it, just because of the width of it. And so this was to start alleviating some of that. We have some that are very tight fits.
You have a remote control lawnmower?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
It is designed for high angle mowing and rough mowing. It can mow up to 1.5 inch diameter material and go on to up to I believe it's a 40-degree incline.
Interesting. Matthew, you were talking about the trail maintenance. Does Eco Servants, do they do any maintenance, or they just do the?
No, Eco Servants does maintenance for us, and when we get into our budget, you'll see where we pay them a nominal fee every year to help support that program.
Okay.
But they do a lot of trail maintenance for us.
Do
and
they
some
have
cleaning.
their own equipment?
Yes, sir. They have all their own.
You think they're gonna be ram?
No, that's
don't
what
think
I
so.
was afraid.
They got a lot of that
That's
budget
federal.
cut.
They've told me maybe one more year.
Steve's getting older and,
Yeah, he's told me one more year. But
Boy, they've done so much.
Oh, yeah, they do a great job, too.
I don't want to see it go, but,
so back to this deck over trailer, what are you pulling it with?
so it can be pulled with
So
our
it's a
F-250s.
bumper mount?
Yeah, bumper pull.
Okay, it's not a,
No, it's not a gooseneck or anything, it's bumper pull. The next item are tilt trailers. So we introduced one of these last year to our fleet. And so what a tilt trailer is, the whole actual deck of the trailer tilts up, so you don't use ramps or anything for loading. So it's a safer alternative. You don't have to worry about falling off ramps, things like that. You actually, when you pull up onto the trailer, the weight of the machine will slowly tilt it back down. And kind of same unloading, you back the machine up a little bit, the breakover point, it lays it back. And
So this would be like loading lawnmowers?
so loading lawnmowers, tractors, any kind of equipment we have. And
Matt, can I ask you a question about your tilt deck? So I can contest the tilt deck trailer versus a regular trailer, putting ramps out, doing all that. It's safer and easier for the guys. There's less chance of someone throwing a back out trying to load those real heavy ramps. Do you know what weighted axles are on the trailer that you're proposing?
I can't think of off the top of my head. I believe
So I know ours has twin 8 tons.
yeah, I believe that's what our current one has.
Okay. And then, so do you know the width of that trailer? I'm just trying to think of your deck over trailer versus those tilt decks, because,
So,
I mean, I think the tilt deck's a better trailer, and I know our width is 102 inches wide is what width of equipment we can fit on ours.
okay, I'll have to look at what ours is. I think ours is the one step smaller.
Okay.
And they make some, and they make some deck overs that do also tilt. And so, we would look at that. I don't have that quote in front of me, I apologize, but.
No, it's okay. Just asking.
And they're similar price, so it's the, you know, it's figuring which one's best. The next item is two F-150s. So one of them got put in the budget. The two F-150s we're looking for is one to replace what we affectionately refer to as the green machine. You'll see our custodians running around. It's a little
That little Ford.
yeah, little SUV. So that little SUV does not have four-wheel drive. And it also is not great for custodial because you're putting trash in the back hatch. But it's a vehicle that was handed down to us to replace an older truck. So we're now looking at replacing that one. And then the other one was gonna go to recreation, which recreation currently has an F-250 and an F-150. So it would go to recreation, then the F-250 would actually go over to parks to give them another truck.
Because they don't really need a F-250.
They don't really need an F-250. And so it was gonna be some moving, but this current one in the budget will replace what we refer to now as the green machine. And it will, we'll keep that green one in the fleet for a while until we get ready to auction stuff. And it will just come kind of a fleet vehicle for our department if we have extra stuff. Because most of our crews do run in two-man crews, but every once in a while you'll have a one-off to go somewhere, and so that can be just an extra fleet vehicle for us.
My only problem is it says Ford on there, not Chevrolet.
That is because Fords are a lot cheaper right now.
Is there
I
a
mean,
reason for that?
yeah.
Personal preference.
I mean, great example, my work truck is is a Chevy, my personal truck's a Ford, but Ford pickups are significantly cheaper right now, work trucks than Chevys, and so, at least,
But is it the best bang for the buck?
Fords have done very well for us in the department.
It's a Ranger.
Danger Ranger.
Yeah. And so that's that F-150. A Toro Sand Pro, so what a Sand Pro is, it's a little machine you see that's dragging like baseball fields and stuff. That's what they are. They're called Sand Pros. They're used for primarily baseball fields, however, they can still be used for like trail maintenance. They do dirt maintenance basically. They have some different attachments. The main one's a nail drag. And so it's actually nails that go in and tear up the topsoil and then smooth it back over, help level it out, things like that. Our current two we have, they're aging, and so this is kind of one of those, they're getting near the end of life. Now, in the long run, we're looking at also, we won't have to use them at Eagle Creek anymore after this season.
Yeah.
And so really the only fields we'll have to use them at is the high school baseball field and North Park. Those are the two main uses of them after this season. Going forward and after talking to schools at our joint school meeting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also try to help look at some grants for some turfing of the high school baseball fields, which would maybe help alleviate some of that. And then the ones we currently have two Sand Pros that are both aging, but if the only thing we have is North Park for them, then they'll do just fine. So that's why it's sitting lower on our priority.
Man, they're really going after it at the Gavilan
It's
ball.
looking good, huh?
They're moving fast.
Yeah, so are they putting turf?
It will be
there?
fully artificial turf
Wow.
there.
That's a big expense. It's a school insurance.
Yeah,
So-
school insurance is paying for that.
I'm
just hope we
curious
can
on that,
water off
Matthew.
Yeah.
Have schools done anything to mitigate the flood? Because
They have not yet. After talking to Becca, she said there are some plans for some maybe like Jersey barrier type things back along the backside and stuff, because
if you get a decent rainfall, that's gonna
The
happen.
only thing I know of is out there at the the White Mountain Elementary.
the HESCO baskets
They'll
there.
put HESCO baskets there, and they've had people redoing the fence, but other than that, I haven't seen anything at the high school. I haven't seen,
No, sir.
Well, I was hoping, because right there at the bridge, and I don't know the roads, I apologize, where the huge house is, right there by the ballpark. All through there is all wood, and I'm hoping that they'll clean that up a little bit, because if the water washes down, it's gonna go straight for the ballpark.
You're talking about that little road that cuts up to go to
Yes.
Horton?
Yes.
Off Meander?
Yeah,
Oh, we're over there?
Yeah,
But-
she's talking about that bridge that goes over, and
Yeah,
there's that big
because
stone
that's,
house
you
on the
know,
right-hand
the water
side.
comes
Reese-
through there,
Reese
yes,
Drive.
yes.
I believe so.
Because it does choke there and Walnut.
And they're definitely doing
Usually
some, they're doing
Walnut
some flood
gets-
mitigation at that house.
How
for
much
sure.
are the schools paying for that?
I am not sure.
It's a
A
lot.
lot.
I mean, they,
Where they got the money?
It's insurance.
Oh,
Their
really?
insurance society.
From being torn up.
Okay.
And we were maintaining it, we actually put, sod over there and everything the year before and got it back up in
Yeah,
condition.
okay.
So their insurance, I know, she told me that she didn't tell me a dollar amount, but she told me their insurance determined it was cheaper to turf it than it was to go in, dig back down, replace all the irrigation, because they would have to dig down, replace the irrigation and everything. And so it was gonna be cheaper to turf it than it was to,
Does that help pay for part of the turf too, didn't they last year?
yes, they paid for the grass, we installed it last year. Yes, sir.
But I did have questions about, we don't, I mean, the water's gonna definitely come through
Yeah,
there.
but, what do they say, it's not my,
And
not my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And I've tried
My
to,
circus,
yeah, and
my
I've talked to him
monkey.
some about, maybe
It's their
trying to
deal.
figure out some ways to put some trash racks in that area or something, because if it's just water, and even if it's water and mud, as long as there's no debris in it, it won't really.
So how you gonna
cause issue.
maintain it?
So we will have the equipment to maintain it from our project that we're getting out at Eagle Creek, the turf we're doing out there. Part of that grant
What your
pays for.
trailers are for?
So the trailers will help maintain, or move equipment back and forth, yes, sir.
It's nice of you.
Yes, sir. So we do. The next is John Deere Gators. We had two of them at 20,000 apiece. One went into the budget. And so those are what we use at White Mountain Sports Complex, especially in our sports fields. So we use Gators versus ATVs because of the tires and the way they're designed. It won't tear up the grass. So even an like a UTV side-by-side, even with turf tires on, it still doesn't distribute the weight right and stuff. And if you turn too fast, it rips up grass, things like that. And they also, they're quicker. The speed on them, if you accelerate too fast, they'll spin the tires, rip up grass, things like that.
Aloha.
Like the John Deere Gators are designed for turf, and so they won't do that.
What's happening at White Mountain right now?
So that's our, like activities-wise or work-wise?
I'm talking
Our
about the
planning-wise.
condition of the
Grass
playing
growing.
fields.
Oh, the conditions they look great.
Good.
There's a one little corner in the northeast corner, northeast corner, that, where the flood went down the trail, which we're working on, replacing the trail, that it kind of washed out a lot of debris, so we're regrowing grass in that corner, but it's coming back up really well. But the rest of the fields are all in phenomenal condition.
The kids were loving it this week, man. There was a ton of people
Oh,
out there
yeah.
on those fields.
It's packed, and as you see out there, if you go out there, there's 4 baseball fields on the east end set up for baseball practice, and then the rest of it's soccer. And so that's our
We
spring
need to
soccer.
put it somewhere, where can we
Yeah.
do some fields? Because we've had 2 investment groups and I don't know where to put them.
Yeah, I really think 220 is the best option.
And he,
They don't like it.
Bill's pissed off. He's already called me 3 times about it.
Yeah,
Who?
Vaughn, Bill Vaughn. And
I've kind
For
of,
that, bringing all those people out there and getting more
he
exposure,
said
right?
that he's got his expensive lots up there and it's gonna run the views. And so it's all from someone's perspective, and so I told him, I hate to lose and that's what happens when you get in this position, you lose a lot of friends over shit like this, so. But we're looking on that and we've been talking to the forester. And so it's real, I got some preliminary drawings I can show you, I can send you, Ron, I can send you a packet to look at, but just thinking about, but I don't know of any place in town.
Do we still own that land on Ski Run Road?
Yes,
No, past where we were gonna build the cemetery.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a
Watershed
Disc
protection.
golf
disc
course
golf
now.
course.
Oh, okay.
And we kept it,
What's the terrain there?
it's very steep,
Rocky.
rocky and steep.
and
Never built that course for us, and it was not fun.
For watershed protection, we bought some
200 days of
additional
my
over there.
life out there.
And this is a long-range plan that the county, us, and the tribe had talked about signing on to, that if we can get funding to put not a, what is it called? Not a lift, it's a tram. a tram up on our property, but we've tried to make sure that we keep that for disc golf and we're still looking for a place to put one more course.
We are. I'm still trying, trying to find one.
There's definitely still enough land out there too. If you were gonna put a tram station in, so where the disc golf course ends, there's an additional, I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but I'm pretty sure there's an additional 50 acres that weren't touched that still is fairly flat. I mean, you would have to do some infrastructure work
Whose
and
land?
it's ours, yeah, village land.
And we've had people like King, what's his name, the dad?
Jack.
Jack, has been wanting to purchase it to build a house, and we said no, because we're trying to protect the watershed there.
Yeah, it definitely watersheds there.
And if
Tell
we
you
could
that.
just figure out some additional land besides the
Some ball
220
fields. Yeah.
options, I've seen some in the downs and whatnot.
Yeah, there's some in the downs, down there that we've seen, but we don't own that land, but there are some flatter areas. The issue with like baseball fields is if we can't find a flattish area, that's gonna skyrocket the price, and, it's already gonna be difficult to fund it, and that's gonna probably make it out.
And I know there's still a lot of uncertainties and litigation and all that stuff involving Cream Meadows area, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's,
It's
boy, it sure is
high
flat.
dollar,
Oh, I know it is, but it's darn near perfect already.
Touch that one.
No, you gotta wait till all those lawsuits are done, but
Sure.
there's 3 different investors that are fighting over
And,
that.
and the issue I do think with Cream
As
Meadows,
soon as it's clear.
To do like fields or green space, or,
Yeah.
it would be really cool to have a park that big right in
What
town.
about North Park? I noticed there's 4 lights. Are we,
so there's
is
three.
those ours?
So there's 3 lights right there. They are not ours. They were donated by Prestige Services to light that field for Little League so they could play later
Yeah,
games.
okay.
I was able to,
The red ones?
yes, I was able to contact Prestige. They're out of Artesia, but they have a home here, and I know they're a member of your jockey club, and they're,
Them businesses.
Yeah, they have some,
They're great people.
Let them get more games in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. no,
Oh, the
that's
kids are loved, they feel
Yeah.
official out there, man.
yeah.
I drove by and I heard them, they're all hyping each other up,
Under
and,
the lights that.
oh yeah, they loved it.
So yeah, they donated those lights. We were responsible for the fuel in them.
Okay.
They said, please keep them fueled up, make sure they return full, and check the oil on them
Is
once
that
a
for
week.
the whole summer?
It's just gonna be, through June, or beginning of
the
June.
first week
Yeah,
of
the
June.
first week of
Oh,
June,
okay.
just Little League season.
Okay.
That was really nice of Prestige to do
Yeah.
that for the
Yes,
kids.
Chris and Mel Likens, are great people, and they wanna support the youth of the community, and so
Okay, thanks.
they never hesitated when I called. And then the next thing we have is, commercial mowers, so those are 2 Hustler commercial mowers.
Zero turn.
0 turn. They're yeah, and so this is another one of those. We have mowers starting to reach end of life, and so I start asking a year or 2 in advance, just so we make sure we keep up with that. The goal is to replace 1 to 2 every year. That's kind of the goal, to keep them on like a 5-year life cycle.
What brand do you currently have?
So we have, a little bit of everything. We have John Deere, Toro, and Hustlers, all 3.
And the Hustlers, you like those
Hustlers are the best.
The guys are really liking the Hustlers.
Good.
Yeah, they're really good mowers, so, and, you know, they're all, to me, pretty much the same riding on them, but I don't ride on them every single day, so. The Hustlers are a little different, because they're like what you look at, like the home style, I would call them 0 turns, where they have the 2 sticks, you actually, so it's a little more compact and stuff. You see the John Deere and our Toros, they're the bigger ones with wings and things like that. They're still 0 turns, but they're a little more cumbersome to get around areas if you're not really experienced on a mower.
We have
Where-
plenty of trees in the parks that you're mowing too, I'm sure.
Yes, and so the little ones are a little actually easier and more efficient than the big wing mowers are good for things like sports fields and things like that, but we actually replaced those last year with an autonomous mower, so for the sports fields. So we have the autonomous mower for
What
that.
model are you looking at on those Hustlers?
I would have to look at, it's their mid-level commercial mower. So that's what gets
Like
different.
60-inch deck,
Yeah, it's
62.
between a 60 and a
There's whole bunch
72
of them
inch.
that are 60, but there's a lot of models, man. Fast Track, X1, Super Z.
Well, obviously,
Yes.
we should get the
And-
fastest ones.
And that price sounds crazy, 25,000, because you think a home one's 5,000, but it's that commercial grade. It makes a difference.
The deck metal
Yeah.
is so thick.
Yeah.
Where you're mowing over rocks and all that, it'll damage it much.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. They gotta be tough.
Yeah, they're pretty tough mowers, but they're really good. But like I said, the ones we have now still have useful life, so that's why it was lower on the priority list.
Putting it on the radar.
Exactly. So all of our capital expenditures that we,
So you only got one out of all that?
no, we got four.
They got
We got four. The mini excavator, one deck over trailer, a F-150 and one John Deere mower, or one Gator.
Yeah.
And so I gave Judy our top five, and that's what we were able
Mr.
to.
Mayor, Council, Matt, I would love for you to find out a little bit more about that tilt deck trailer versus the deck over trailer. Just because I feel like it's a better, or find a deck over trailer that
Tilts.
that has a tilt deck. I mean, it's so much
Did
easier
say
for the
that.
guys, man. So much easier and
For sure.
less injury potentials as well, so limiting liabilities.
For sure.
Especially because you guys are gonna be moving, it sounds like a lot of equipment. I know that you already move a lot of equipment around town, but if we can make it safer and more efficient for the guys, then we're saving money on payroll.
For sure.
So on Thistle Control, we spent $5,000 on, okay, and then on the wilderness camp, can you tell me what that's gonna look like? When is that happening? It happens pretty
That's in
quick.
June.
It's June. It's 2 weeks in June.
So,
I'm sorry, Mayor, what page are you on?
105.
105.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They've got just some different things that we're looking at, and so the youth sports, does that include their T-shirts and everything?
Yes, that includes
You
jerseys and
fixed
everything.
that problem. Well, I
Thank
used to
you.
hear about that all the time.
I tried. That was a big goal of mine.
The season be over and they get their shirts and.
We pride ourselves on
and
getting
they-
them there before. Every once in a while, there's a late registrant that might get theirs late, but we pride ourselves. They're a little more expensive, but I think it's worth
And
it.
your litter control, that's different than your cleaning the bathrooms and different than you.
Yes, so the litter control line item on here is the KRB grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why there's nothing in it right now,
Okay, that's
because
what
we don't have an award.
don't
Once we
have
get
the
the
award
award,
yet.
we'll-
do you expect it to be about the same as last year, or?
I anticipate that. You never know. They always have a lot more, every year more people apply for the same
And
pot of
again,
money,
I
so.
remember that, but, okay.
I'm hoping it's similar, not having T-Bone. T-Bone was in their pocket and loved them,
Yep.
and so I'm hoping they still give similar to us, though.
Boy, T-Bone could pick up some litter, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That boy's on it. He could get it done.
He'll still be on it.
Yes, he's still helping us with a lot of stuff. And so some of the major changes in our budget, we'll just kind of go through the big changes. Adult sports, took 10,500 out of that one. We're just doing, and it just shows 0 year-to-date. Since this has been printed, we have spent money out of that account, for different things, but we just, adult sports, we've been a little smarter with our money, and they're not as expensive. Used to, they did a lot more, they spent a lot more on them, and now it's kind of like you get a T-shirt, we'll go get a basic T-shirt, we don't need a fancy jersey. You get a basic T-shirt and reffing games.
Yeah.
It's kind of, so we've kind of streamlined that program.
Yeah, they're adults.
Yeah, they don't,
Worse than the kids sometimes.
yeah, they're worse than the
Yeah.
kids, but we don't need fancy prizes and stuff for them. Y'all getting out there to recreate.
The registration fee kind of helps offset
helps.
that cost too.
Yes, sir.
Not fully, but at least it goes towards it.
Yes, sir. Youth sports, you'll see, down 15,000, or 25,000, sorry, to 70,000. So that's another one of those, part of it is, with Alex in there now, we're streamlining some of our expenditures. He's getting a little better handle on some of those expenditures. The other portion of that is we're gonna go to 1 soccer season versus 2. Currently, soccer is the only sport we have 2 seasons of. Everything else is 1 season, so we're gonna go to a spring soccer and fall football. The other part of that is our leagues are getting so big that we need the extra field space.
Flag football?
Yes, sir, flag football.
So, Matthew, I notice almost regularly, the horses or the elk
Yes,
are
sir.
getting on the fields during play. I mean, what's the protocol for that?
Our staff tries to run them off. That's
Okay.
That's about our only option. We'll stop play, try to get them off, and then start play back.
Have we ever had to cancel
No, sir.
games because of it?
No, sir. No, we're able to shoo them off pretty much, pretty quickly.
And then they got a turd picker upper.
Yep, and we have a couple different methods to pick up their waste.
Patrol, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we do keep
from,
it
from, from a rake and shovel to an actual lawn vacuum, so we kind of have a wide variety of different things to
I
use.
know it's heresy, but
Yeah,
those horses are just out of control.
yes, sir.
So many of them.
Well, and I haven't got it, but used to, I'd get people, because they'd see me over at the dog park, come over with their kids' cleats full of elk poop. And nobody does that anymore. I guess they've figured it out.
And we're trying to stay on top of it, and
I mean, I practice, I go out to the fields frequently and practice and run around and stuff like that. And I've noticed a significant difference in the upkeep and maintenance. And again, not having poo everywhere.
we try. That's our goal.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand for sure, so.
Thank you.
It's
What
a
do you
lot
do with
better.
the poo?
I'm glad you have.
Mulches into the ground.
Yeah,
It's hot. I mean, you just chop it up into the ground?
if it's mowing time, we do. We'll mow it and just let it spread out. If we do pick it up, we haul it off kind of to the side and just areas around there. Dispose of it.
Let it deteriorate.
Yeah, let it deteriorate naturally. The next line item, wilderness camp, that one is going up $1,000. And so it's labeled wilderness camp here. Now we call it Rec Your Summer Camp. It's a summer camp we do 2 weeks in the year. We do
Rec Your
Rec
Summer-
Your Summer,
Wreck
REC.
your summer camp. Okay.
That was my my naming there. So that's our summer camp we do 2 weeks out of the year. That is coming up in June. We do back-to-back weeks. They're the same camp both weeks. We can have 25 kids per camp, and so we do it those two. I am exploring, so this is to cover those two camps. We do things like teaching them about kayaking, and we bring game and fish out to bring the pelt trailer out and show them that. Everett usually comes out actually and helps us with disc golf and do disc golf on a sports day. Disc golf, soccer, baseball, kind of teach them about some sports stuff. We do a swimming day where we take them to the pool. Usually included in the swimming day, we'll actually go to the fire station and they get to tour Fire Station 1 and then go over to the pool. And then every day is a half day except for Thursday. And Thursday is a full day because we actually go down to Alamogordo with the kids.
To the zoo.
We take them down to the zoo and the Space Museum. And and we have a really good time. They always really enjoy it. We do the planetarium. There might be a little secret in there of going to the zoo and then the Space Museum, then into the planetarium, because it kind of calms them down and they sleep on the ride home.
Oh, yeah.
And so it kind of
It's
works
not as
out.
hot at the zoo in the morning.
No, exactly.
What's the ages?
So
Is it 7 to 12?
7 to 12.
7 to 12.
I know Crawford's been a few times
Yeah,
to it.
and I'm trying to get him back up here again.
Yeah,
so.
if he's here that week, that's usually, he usually comes and, we always have parents call us and really thank us because their kids sleep all afternoon after the camp, and that's
Yeah.
our goal, to wear them out that morning. And so that's what wilderness camp, and so like I said, it's just to help buy us some supplies, and they get a T-shirt, they get some goodie bags and just supplies. Those have become very popular, and, yeah.
Oh,
They-
yeah, really?
They've become very popular. They
seen that
they fill
going
up quickly,
sometimes.
and so we are.
Bird rescue.
I'm looking with the rec staff at possibly maybe expanding that another week or two in the summer.
One of the weeks is totally full and the others, I have 2 being full.
Golly, already?
Yes, sir.
June 15th, I think, is the first week.
And what does that cost again?
$75, I believe.
And that's a cheap babysitting deal for.
For a whole week?
Grandparents bring their,
We do see actually a lot of grandparents there. The week their grandkids come up to see them is the week. They make sure to
Take 'em to a
schedule it the
camp.
week of camp.
There you go, Greg.
Like, why not?
Yeah, so we are looking at expanding that. We can't do it every week of all summer because we do need lake and Whibbit and pool operations, just staffing. And also we need prep time for my recreation staff to get ready for flag football and fall sports and
What
things
are
like
the
that. So,
ages in that program?
7 to 12.
7 to 12.
Matt, can I ask a question, just rewinding just a little bit about getting rid of the 2 soccer seasons? And you're saying it's because we're getting so many participants that you need more fields for each of the sports.
So
Right.
that's one of the reasons, yes, sir.
Okay, so would you eliminate that one soccer, or that additional soccer season and then take on more kids?
That's the
Per-
goal.
Okay,
That's the goal.
Okay, thank you.
There's
Current-
also
yeah.
volleyball during that time.
Yeah, the current goal, and fall soccer is kind of one of those, they have to, the kids don't have to, but we have fall soccer and flag football going on at the same time. So they can technically play both, but they end up missing games from one or the other practices, and it's just very difficult. And also, it's the only sport we have 2 seasons of, and currently, right now, when we do have those two together, with that White Mountain, we actually have to push football. There's a few on the normal flat surface, but the rest are pushed over to the outfield or the baseball field, is what we've had to do now. And then play later into the evening to accommodate games and stuff. So by eliminating soccer fields, we're able to move them to the mass area.
What about volleyball and softball or baseball? You know, we had a letter that people were upset because the volleyball and the softball were,
Seasons, you remember that?
Yes.
so did we kind of get
So that was all adult sports stuff, and yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's-
That's
yes,
adults.
you're
That
right,
was only
adult.
adult sports, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And
but we got
they
that
overlapped by a
figured out?
week. They overlapped by a week.
Okay,
Our last week, our championship week was their first week of practices.
okay.
What happened, why did UTEP stop doing their?
They changed coaches and their programs, and they cut back after COVID. And so we haven't actively gone after it again. Then the hotel changed hands. And so we just haven't gone there yet. And that was something, if we're looking to do, we
Wow,
could
I'm
go
just
after
thinking with the track.
in October. Well, it never generated the interest that we were hoping. Eventually, we wanted to graduate to Dallas.
Yeah, like high altitude
Cowboys, so
training
we had
camp.
them in, a couple of their scouts, and
So you were looking for the fan base to,
yet show up and interest and people coming in and more publicity with that. And and I have talked to the owners of this hotel now, and they said they'd certainly do whatever. And then, of course, we'd have to find times.
hotel change owners?
You know what, Hubbard owned it then.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then, now
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's the boys from Odessa
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
And so, but they would work with us, we'd have scheduled time at the convention center and do it in, when they do their two-a-day training. And then, but again, all of this goes to high altitude training, it's the big, and that's why we gotta sit down sometime and just have a discussion session on all the things that we're looking on, because we're looking at high altitude training, Xterra, Ironman, and then bringing in these things and being known as an outdoor community. And then our problem is we're landlocked and flat areas, so we're gonna have to incorporate the downs, not take them over, just incorporate some of their land in the situation. So if we own the land, we still won't get the GRT.
Which is fine.
They'll get it, but if it's gonna be there, I'm trying to they need to get the grant, they need to buy it, they need to, and so we're trying, but they're coming up to speed. And then maybe even in Capitan, and so we're having an economic development regional meeting of sorts next week with different ones. I got the mayor from Capitan, a lady that the COGS hired, and other small communities to see how we get them, because it's not that far of a drive to
No,
Capitan.
20 minutes.
We have a lot of their kids coming here, so we get a grant, build a field, they maintain it, they start helping us out.
Well, that high altitude training, the contour flights.
Could help.
Could help significantly, because I know they've got several of those centers in Colorado Springs.
Well, that's Olympic Center.
Yeah,
too.
that's a big one there.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so
And man,
what
is it
we need
nice.
is water, and this is where the brackish water conversion equipment that we're working with Steve Lambert and those guys on, that they say they can convert it for nominal, compared to what these big desal plants are, this one's really cheap, so we're working on that. But we gotta get the green energy plant started, and then we'll move into that. So there's a lot of these things that we need to look, that's on short-term, long-term, midterm, and long-term planning.
Right.
and that we're out there going for to find out what we can get. And Eddie's got a lot of that stuff he's working on, so we just need to get together. When we're not dealing with FEMA money, where's the projects and who's paid back and where we're doing this and the buyout program. This is all economic development that we've been trying to work on, and you guys know about a lot of it. And so we need to really start maybe dedicating a new team and dedicate a couple of counselors and then get some folks from the community to really focus on that. You know, we keep starting like the Upper Canyon Historic District and other people that have a vested interest so that they do more. I think it's time that we start doing that for economic development, and that's why it's important that we get this economic development director hired.
Because it's truly who we become next.
Right.
As a community.
Totally.
Yeah.
And how do we get there? And then here's the vision so that we can incorporate the people in the community so they're not focused on their Facebook all the time and all the negative BS. They're like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah, that's what we need, though. We need cool, new, exciting things happening.
And then it's gonna attract outside investors. They have called, they are coming, they are interested because we seem, you know, we're not a fish flopping around on the bank. We're actually
Hustling.
moving it and it's impressive. And so I know to us that live here every day, it doesn't seem that. But to other people, they're like, wow, this is amazing.
I feel like quite the contrary. I think most of us know that we're resilient, we're a beautiful community, and
I think people
boy, we're
should
gonna
come
be
in
something
just
next.
because of how it looks. Good
Huh.
grief. Who doesn't want to be here? I was born and raised in West Texas.
Well,
Forever to get here. Once I got here, I was like, what did I waste?
yeah, I
my
know.
time for?
And what you hear about is how expensive it is. And when you compare us to other mountain towns,
No, we're nominal.
We're
Right.
and so I'm sorry, it costs more to live in a beautiful place like this.
Amen.
Worth every penny.
So anyway, I'm glad to hear that because your budget is not concluded yet.
Yeah.
Every penny.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna excuse Melissa. We have a tree planting this morning for Arbor Day, so she's gonna go.
Where's that gonna be, over at the
It's at Kids Connection.
Kids Connection?
Because I didn't know where I was going.
Yes, so it's over by Kids Connection.
Yeah.
She gets a shoulder.
Yeah, well, it's the garden club. She gets there to be pretty for the pictures.
I'll stand by the shovel.
Yeah, she'll have the golden
Thank you
shovel.
very much.
Bye, Melissa. Have a great day.
The next item that has changed, so like talked about the litter control, so that's the grant. So you don't see anything there until we get funding for that. The next is Youth Conservation Corps, so that is Eco Servants, that's their line item. Several years ago, they told us they were going up to 13.5. For the last 4 years, they've billed us 12,400. And we've asked him, he said, no, that's y'all's portion, so we're gonna budget that.
Yeah, I just hate it,
I hate,
the way their budget their grant got killed, and
yes,
those are things that we've sent letters off and
yeah,
to try to get.
Because what do we do if they do actually disband or
Well, we'll end up doing it ourselves.
yeah.
yeah, you'd have to have a whole new crew of guys that literally just go rake trails, right?
It's, we'll have to absorb it, we'll have to figure out a way, but
And so, that's because they do a lot.
they do.
Oh, they keep those trails so nice.
Yes.
The next line item that did go down, special events, went down 10,000.
Does that encompass?
So that encompasses everything from like our 5Ks, 4th of July celebration outside of drone show. That encompasses, Easter egg hunt, like all the smaller community events that we do.
Does that have stuff to do with the Midtown trick or treat too, right?
So Midtown Trick or Treat comes out of that. It's the more community-based focused events. That's what that goes for. It's not the large special events to bring people in. It's the more community-based events.
More of our quality of life events.
Exactly.
And so your July 4th extravaganza is different.
So that comes out of that.
That does come out of that,
Yes,
so the
everything but the drone show.
movies.
The drone show comes out of lodger's tax.
Right.
Everything else comes out of there.
So I'm embarrassed to say I've never been to the drone show.
Me too.
Oh,
A lot
man.
of fun.
Really well.
It's the,
it's well
yeah,
attended.
you're gonna have a third of town or more there.
Yeah, we always take a blanket and some lawn chairs and
Yeah.
hang out. And then usually, they have, I didn't go to the one last year, but anyway, they usually have a lot of blow-up,
Yeah.
bouncy houses and.
So we do on 4th of July, we do what we call the All-American Tailgate. So We do bouncy houses. We'll have some food trucks out there. We'll have the stage and live music, and a lot of yard games, things like that on White Mountain on the grass. And then we encourage people to bring their grills out, basically tailgate, and hang out. And then it goes into the evening, and then our music headliner will end about 8:45, and then drones go up about 9 o'clock.
So, under special events, we did the library budget yesterday. Who pays for the concerts behind the
The
library?
library does.
Oh, they do?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, it comes out of theirs.
okay.
But yes, sir, that's what those events are, kind of is,
And this covers
Quality of life.
music in the park?
no, that's also at lodger's tax.
That's separate. Lodger's tax pays for all that, under Mountain Sky and.
That was like 50,000
Yes.
yesterday.
55,000.
5,000.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now it's Cool Summer Nights. They changed
Oh, did they?
the branding on it.
That's a good one.
That's a program we're very proud of, and it's taken off, and
I love that
I'm
one.
very
It's
happy.
super fun.
And to listen to some people, it's a total waste, and I ask him, when have you ever been? What does it look like?
Yeah.
No clue.
It's just, that's where you get to see the friends that you haven't seen since last year.
Kids
Yeah.
play in the park over there, Carson's Corner. Everybody's
Adults are
got their
hanging out.
dog.
And that's a program that I believe is very important. We keep simple. It doesn't need to expand to more and more. The design of it is, there's some music in the park, there's a food truck to grab some food, come hang out, enjoy the park, relax, enjoy the cool mountain air.
Yep, it's great.
Camaraderie, friendship.
Exactly.
Get,
Community.
Love it.
yeah, relax from a hard week and kind of start calming down to get ready for your weekend.
And it's faux free.
Well, free.
It's
Faux
so-
free.
That is what we love about it. The next line items you'll see we did go up on is general parks maintenance, 52,300. So we went up 15,000 on it, or just shy of 15,000. And that's just, stuff's going up. And we have a lot of parks we maintain and a lot of stuff, so that's,
Back up, Matthew.
yes, sir.
Portacan's contract, it looks like it's a lot higher than what our actual experience has been.
So I'm leaving it, I want to leave it one more year at that. And then we're looking at tapering it off the next several years because we've added a lot of park bathrooms, and I do want to leave it at that one more year for porta cans.
So is this that trailer?
No. So this is for pumping of our trailers, the four VIP trailers we have.
Right.
It's pumping those. It's pumping of the vault toilets.
Okay.
And then also if we need porta johns in our parks. Used to, before we had permanent,
Porta potties.
Porta
yeah,
potties,
yeah, before we had permanent bathrooms in our parks, we had porta potties in all of our parks.
Right.
As we're putting permanent bathrooms, we're replacing those and not having that expensive porta potties. But before I really cut it down, I do want to, because we are having more pumping of our vault toilet stations and more pumping of our trailers, our VIP trailers, just because of more events and heavier usage of parks.
The new bathrooms at White Mountain,
Yes,
those are connected.
those are connected.
And what's the reception been for those?
White Mountain,
North Park.
North
about
Park,
North Park,
okay.
Yeah, I was tracking with you, sorry. They've been very well received. Matter of fact,
And
actually,
they're all open.
yes, sir, they're all open. Little League's loving them. And that's the design we did there because they're 4 separate bathrooms. And from parents, I actually was at Little League the other night and they were ecstatic because they can take all 3 of their kids in and just kind of have them all do their business and then at one time, and just that design really
Yeah,
works
it was
well.
neat. Needed
Bathrooms
that.
are gender specific.
No, sir. They're all gender neutral restrooms, so all
Okay.
4 can be used for,
So you just lock the door?
yeah, because they're private baths, so.
Okay.
Nice.
yes.
Yeah, they are nice.
There is one thing we are having to change on them, and that is the lights on the outside.
Too bright,
They were too bright for the
neighborhood.
so and
Yeah, you get that all the time. I heard that, and I told them that we would address it, and I forgot to talk to you.
yeah, and so the design of the lights on those buildings, it's designed to project the light out, so it lights up a large area around the building. It's for some security reasons, but we are replacing them with lights that are directed down And so it will still light up over the door and still the immediate area, but it won't project the
Recording
light out.
stopped.
We have a night sky ordinance here.
Yeah.
And so, like the baseball field at the schools, you know, that was a big deal, but those lights are directed, so you don't have the issues. But you'll get a phone call every now and then, somebody puts a new light on their deck up on McBride or whatever, and I get phone calls from people over here, and I go over to their house, and I'm like, wow, you can see that thing, and so you track it down, you go knock on their door, and it's just up, and you just go say, you know,
Pointing it down.
just point it down, or just little things, so welcome.
Locks at the bathroom at Kids Connection, they're getting more and more difficult to slide.
Yeah, that bathroom, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. We're having a lot of vandalism issues with that bathroom.
Really?
And so I'm working with the PD to try to get some, and vandalism in bathrooms are really difficult because people go in there and, I can't put a camera on it, I can't put anything, it's just,
Well, don't
and
close it. I
so no, I don't wanna close it. By no means are we gonna close it. I'm just trying to figure out how to
address
how
that.
to address it. Like the toilet paper dispensers, we were having a very hard time with those. They were tearing them off the wall and they were just constant issues. So we just bought some vandalism resistant toilet paper dispensers to see how they go.
Well, kudos to your crew, because they're always spotless.
Thank you.
I agree.
And if you start going into some of our older bathrooms, and that one is one on the list, we are starting to renovate all of our older bathrooms too. So we just renovated Alto's vault bathroom. And by the vault bathroom renovation is, take the toilet out of the toilet stand out, clean it, we repainted it all, refinished the floor, repainted the doors, all that. And so it honestly looks like a brand new bathroom.
And they are making new ones that are pretty indestructible.
Yeah.
That are metal. Have you seen these? And they're high dollar, but, you can see your ankles, but they've got bars around them, and they're all solid metal, and they're made where you hook a hose up to them, and you can just spray them down. And then you put the toilet paper back, and they're all stainless steel, and
Yeah,
they were going in there with baseball bats and kicking stuff, and you did no good.
We do have a few park bathrooms that have stainless steel sinks and toilets, and we refer to those as the prison toilets and the prison sinks. And those are areas that we had a lot of vandalism or broken things.
Why don't we have mirrors in the bathrooms?
People break them all the time.
Okay.
And there's a stainless steel mirror option, but we
They
put
get
those and they
scratched.
scrape into them. So we just,
I don't know if you've ever seen in Europe, they've got those self-cleaning ones that.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
A mirror?
the London Loos,
The bathroom.
yeah.
The toilet sink retracts into where
Yeah.
it's completely
Yeah,
closed,
and
all
then it just
stainless
sprays it
steel
down.
and it's
Yeah, they're called
sanitized.
London Loos. They're fancy, but they use a lot of water.
I can imagine.
Because they clean after every single person.
Oh, wow.
And they also, with that being said, like some place like, say, the sports, the White Mountain Sports Complex, somebody goes in, they come back out, it locks the doors down, runs its full cleaning cycle, which is, I think, 3 minutes of cleaning cycle before it unlocks the
I
doors
might interfere with
to
your
let the
walking.
next person in. So,
You'd be running around the outside.
so they are really cool, but
59.
they're really cool, but there's some, I think they have a little ways to go on them before.
Well, some of these meetings that we get to go to, they have a lot of stuff like this on display that's coming. And right now, they're prototypes, but that's what they're trying to do, is figure out how you remove one of those and these just set. And then bolt them down, you hook the water up, but they were showing how tough they were.
Yes.
But they're, it's pretty basic. I mean, it's metal.
Yeah.
And then you can clean them, but you're not gonna tear them up.
So, Matthew, what's the plan at Two Rivers?
So.
Is that ever gonna be parkland again?
Yes, sir. So, as you've seen, we've replaced the second bridge there. It's completed now. They just finished the concrete on it, the apron on it to get it, that's completed. So then we actually have lodger's tax money that's been set aside a few years ago for a new playground. It was actually to replace the old playground, then we got the grant, had to move quickly. We used that playground at Schoolhouse Park.
Right.
We still have that lodger's tax money, but I'm waiting till the fall of this year to look at that.
Bathroom's okay.
Yes, the bathroom's okay, it's going good.
That was a new one.
Yeah,
So-
we didn't want to do anything, we wanted to get a few years of floods to see, I didn't want to put anything in that would be taken right
know
back
where
out
to
by
put
flood.
it.
Yes, sir.
So what about, Ron, what's gonna happen with the land the chamber's sitting on?
Vacant.
It'll
Green
get,
space.
yes, it'll just be green space.
Because doesn't it sit higher than where the playground is currently?
It's about even. It's pretty much.
Yeah,
on the
it's a little higher, but it's about even.
Pretty much.
But it's right there at that bend.
Yeah, there is an area actually right across from the chamber, right across the river, that we have a gazebo there, like an octagon gazebo. Just on,
Statue, some kind of.
yeah, there's a little deer statue there. But there is an open area that has not, for some reason, because it's in the bend and the way it works, that little area's been staying fairly protected. And so we want to kind of evaluate it through one more flood. I don't want to go put $400,000 playground in and then,
Heck no.
That's
lose
where I
it
go
to a
smoke my
flood.
cigarettes.
yeah.
When I walk over there, there's always a big pile of cigarette butts there I pick up. Somebody sits right there and
So
smokes.
that chamber property could be parking potentially?
Yeah,
Potentially, yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's what I
that-
would like to put it
that
as.
Other parking lot fills up quick.
Yes, sir. And along the street, parking fills up really fast too. And it's difficult, especially with the trees in Robin Road there that are in the middle of the road. They cause some other issues.
so, and we still have some money for art stuff that
Yes.
we've better spend it or lose it.
We, Mayor Crawford, members of the council, working with Stephanie Long and her committee is going over that list of projects there, so.
What it is New Mexico, when you get some grants, a certain percentage of it. you have to-
1%,
Have to buy, New Mexico art.
Yes.
And usually stuff we can afford is, bueno. And then the stuff you want, you gotta, it's like saving Gun Brothers stamps. That was before these guys' times. You remember those? You get a rubber knife for 50 and what you really want costs you 1,000.
Could that be used for New Mexico artists that do murals?
You have
So,
to,
it's-
Mayor Crawford, Counselor Letterman, you have to go into the culture.
specific.
Yeah, you have to go to their website,
Website.
Cultural Affairs, and then they have like it's like doing an online
We have an online shopping
Amazon,
store.
and you pick whatever, but there's some that are, I think we have, 30,000 on one of them, and there's some high dollar
Yeah, some of them pretty cool.
amounts, yeah.
But, because you have that little statue that's.
Yep, so we have two statues there. We have a little deer that I thought I lost in the floods last year because there was a statue that looked exactly like it in the Cattle Baron parking lot. And so it's funny because I was heading to the EOC after the water had passed, and I drive by and I saw it in the Cattle Baron parking lot, and I called one of their guys. I was like, hey, can you go get our deer out of the, so they went and got it because we hadn't been in the park yet. And then a few days later, when we made it through the park to evaluate damage, our little statue was still standing strong. I was like, well, I don't know whose that was, but he's at our office.
Show it up there.
Has Deborah contacted you about that wooden carving up?
No, I saw the email that you had responded to, but she hasn't contacted me
And
yet.
then there's that Snido statue.
So then there's a Snido statue in that park also, the quilted lady. That's a lady wrapped in a quilt.
That's a nice.
Yes. And, yeah, so that's a replica. It's not a replica, it's actually his statue, but
She's keeping that one?
no, that's ours. That's in the park.
Oh,
That's a
it's our-
permanent
it's-
park.
But it's still
influence.
good.
Yes, sir.
Well, the other one is that big wooden thing, the spirit of whatever. So,
And, yeah, and both of those statues that made it in the park are in the area I'm looking at putting the playground in. And so that's kind of one of those that, it's been really good. We do have a grant to add a few more things to that park also, a storybook trail, which is short pedestals, that will have, each pedestal will have a page of a book on it, that they're interchangeable. And so they go along the trail so the kids can
Read it.
read a page in a
Such a
book,
cool
go to the next
concept.
one, read a page. And so the really cool concept of that is they have a selection of books they can go through, but they also give us the template to go in that. And we have a few people in the village that are either authors or they do, artists that do that kind of stuff. And so my goal would be to try to feature some of our village employees' work that,
I like that, speaking as a grandfather, better than the ferry trail.
Come on, Grandpa, you don't want to go on the ferry trail?
it's actually crazy, the ferry trail, we that's probably one of our most used amenities.
Oh, they love it.
And we actually, I met with,
Maybe that's for granddaughters.
yeah, I met with, economic,
Come on.
Them trolls too,
Yeah, we have
okay? They
trolls.
have trolls and.
Trolls are, the trolls
yeah, we
are
have,
the best.
by the bridges in Two Rivers Park, there's trolls. And, we actually met with the economic development team that's put together by FEMA, and they have, different areas from all over the country, and when they came in, we told them about that, they actually wanted to take that back. Some of their park planners and landscape architectures wanted to take that back to implement that in their areas, so. So it's actually a very,
We maintain that one?
we do not maintain the ferry
Yeah,
trails.
that's what I didn't think.
They
so.
are volunteers,
Well, then, the
we have
one
two
that's
different
over here on the links, that's some, it just shows up over there.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's
those
one
are
at Wingfield.
at Wingfield, so they're two different
That Wingfield
volunteer
one, I
groups.
tell you what,
Yeah.
they're running around.
That's the
those.
one that, what was her name?
Sydney.
She's an artist.
Yeah,
Can't think
I
of
don't-
her
it.
husband.
Was the
worked
manager at
Albertsons.
Albertsons.
Jane.
Jane.
Something like that.
But, so those are very popular and, but we wanted to do like the Storybook Trail to, and it's to work on helping introduce literature as well as exercise to the youth, so.
Get outside and get
One
educated.
more question back to the bathrooms. Since you got the one by the tennis courts, the new ones, are you gonna tear down the one on the hill?
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay, I just
We, yeah,
didn't know that.
we've looked at maintaining it to actually, store like toilet paper and paper
That's what I
towels.
thought, it was gonna be a storage.
Yeah,
but-
so we've kind of looked at that. We're still trying to evaluate that, about putting one there so that that crew, when they're in that area, can just reload their car
Restock.
there instead of at the office.
You're talking about the one between the senior center?
No,
No.
it's the old one on the hill.
Up on the hill.
Between the swimming pool and the tennis or the fire station, but it's up.
There's a little white building up on the
What
hill
are
that's,
you doing? My grandson calls it the Yellow Park, next to the senior center.
so that one will get,
Community center.
community
my
center.
Apologies, Anthony.
It's still senior.
So that one will get taken out.
Yeah. Yeah,
And Anthony has, put in for a grant to do, a parking lot expansion on that side, which will take up that area.
It's needed.
Which is much
very-
needed, and when,
Very bad.
it's looking very favorable, we'll get that, and once we do, it will take out that. That park's old, that's why we replaced it with the other one. I just, if we're gonna get a grant that can pay for the removal and all that, I'll do that versus doing it right now. It's still used sometimes, especially when the other one's full, that, I'll see kids,
My grandson
Over there.
lasted less than a minute on it. He
Yeah,
said it was
it-
boring.
when you're comparing it to the other one, it definitely is it's a little bit of a letdown, but the smaller kids, a lot of times will go over there and be on
Have you
that one.
cut the trees down yet?
They are not, they're advertised, we're just waiting for,
Okay. Shippen said she's gonna go protest and chain herself around the tree trunk. Save the trees.
Yes, sir.
Matthew, one other question on your travels in schools.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking all the way back to 23, 24, and you've never gone over $10,000 and you have 20
So,
budgeted for.
so the goal on that is, this past year, we didn't get to go to a few conferences, like me and my staff didn't get to go to the national conference because it was the same week as Municipal League. So that would have added a lot to that and moved it up, and my goal also is a lot more training for our staff. And historically, we have not got to lower level staff do a lot of training. My goal is for things like pesticide applicator, get all of them pesticide licensed. CPSI, which Certified Playground Safety Inspector. We're on the verge of having most of ours as certified pool operators, so they're, certified to work on the pool and maintain it.
So
That's
this
the
is
goal.
for staff.
Yes, sir. It's for staff and then also conference travel. This also is what covers going to Santa Fe. Some years, I go to Santa Fe a lot more than others, or Albuquerque or things like that.
On the pesticide, is that every 3 years or?
2 years.
Every 2 years?
Every 2 years, yes, sir.
What about the pool operator?
Pool operators, 5 years.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Pool operator.
It always throws me off because it's referred to also as CPO. And then, so Chief Procurement Officer is also CPO. So I'll hear somebody in, finance or another department going for their CPO, and I'm like, why are you
Why
getting
for a
your pool operator? And I'm like, oh, no, that's a different CPO. So, yes, sir, though, that's the goal. Then we can, if we would like to, that's, if I was gonna go ahead and move on to Horton, where's the pool at?
So the merchant fees we're
45.
collecting, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Or
believe- I
are we
believe so.
upcharging on those?
Yeah, we started that a long time
I
ago.
believe so, I'll have to verify, but I believe everywhere except at the lake, because they don't have a cash option at the lake. We don't do a cash option there, it's just, it's one of our checks to keep from, having any audit issues, thefts. And so we don't allow a cash option there, so we don't charge the merchant fee there because we don't allow the other option, but everybody else.
The cash handling, we got our hands slapped at the school district several years ago. There, as far as the schools are concerned, there's a law that cash has to be deposited within 24 hours. Does that
Yes,
apply
too.
to us?
Yes, sir.
Daily,
And checks.
Yeah, and we do.
all deposits each
Yeah,
day.
we've
Yeah,
been
they-
down that road before, haven't we, Ron?
They're all
Drawer full
deposited the
of
next
checks.
Well,
business
yes,
day.
and then during the ice skating rink, that was I was doing deposits at night, going over there and I'd take it to the bank, but
Yeah.
we continue to do that, so.
So currently, we don't accept cash at the ice rink or the Wibbit. We do at the pool just because of the concession and, people will go, here's your $20, drop the kid off and get in. And so it's kind of one of those, it's needed there, but, at the ice rink or the, Wibbit, their parents are normally with them and so there's accessibility to.
I meant to bring this up, maybe you, Maddie, I know there's a telephone line item with everything there, but is there calculated in that the landlines that we use for internet or anything?
So we're actually centralizing, the majority of those costs to come out of IT.
Okay,
so
so it'll be
so you'll see
later
some-
on for everybody's landlines, right?
Yeah, you'll see a drop
Okay.
in the telephone budget, just because we're pulling it into there, and then that'll be accrued by the admin cost.
And we say that we're always gonna see a drop, but we haven't yet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
We're
mean,
hoping
the,
that we
the
do.
difference in the department budget is what I mean by the drop.
But the overall, we keep thinking it's gonna get cheaper with this internet,
It's not,
because you have all the apps you have to have.
yeah.
Technology is expensive.
And then you're gonna add in the building property maintenance later, right?
For which one?
For parks?
He's got
For-
90,000 in there.
I'm looking at, oh, that's under capital, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's capital. And then, Madison pointed out to me, I did skip a little portion, in page 102, if you go back, it's a swimming pool, but nothing's changed in that budget.
So how long is that pool gonna last? Because
Not,
I,
we bandage it
10
together
years
every year.
ago, we were saying it was on its last
We
leg.
spent a lot of money
We've
on
been
it.
saying
We-
that for 30 years.
Yeah, we,
Boy, am I glad
we,
y'all brought this up. I got some.
Well, we redid the slide.
yeah, so the slide, which it's getting probably close to being redone, needs to be done again, with being a wooden slide. We've redone the pump room, but I'll be honest, we're putting Band-Aids on it to keep it going and keep it going and
And
keep it
this is where
going.
the conversation about the indoor pool and everything at this over here is gonna have to probably be a bond issue with that, because
Exactly.
you're talking about 40 to 60 million.
Is that what a new pool costs?
Well, with
Well,
everything
with-
else, we're gonna do indoor basketball, volleyball.
Yeah, so do an
This-
indoor rec center.
this
I was like,
pool
man,
over
I'm
here,
in the
we
wrong
looked at
business. I should be building swimming
all the
pools.
things it's gonna take to, we've looked, but it was the grant that it was put in with is still restrictive on what you can
Well,
add.
and, again, speaking as a grandparent, the frustration is with our weather,
It's limited.
it's very limited. I
As
mean,
an operator, it's frustrating when I
get
get,
the car unloaded.
But as a kid in the fourth grade, that was so wonderful.
Oh, man, it was
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I'm just saying, when it starts raining and they
I mean, that's a
close-
landmark as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
but yes, the shell of it is starting to show some fatigue. We have to patch different areas all the time, and so I mean, it's
That's
only a matter,
always been the issue.
it's only a matter of time.
It kind of gets repatched throughout 5 years of different sections.
Yeah,
and
it's really,
Put some new pumps in and new electrical last year, year before.
year before.
Year before.
We put new, chemicals in, our new chemical,
Applicant.
And we had a leak.
yeah. We've had a leak we've fixed, and it's just, it's a,
I mean, and how old is that diatomaceous earth filtration system that we run on that thing?
definitely not the best
Is
filter
it,
system.
is it
for-
original to,
So we just
pool?
put this year, we've put a new filter tank in it,
okay,
and new filters. But diatomaceous earth is by no means the best.
No.
The best filtration for an outdoor pool. It is the best filtration for an indoor pool. Well, it's the second best. Regenerative media now is the best. It's the new gold standard. It does filter out more than a sand filter, but for an outdoor pool, you actually need the sand filter, because a sand filter, you re-clean that sand, reuse it, and you can redo it again. A diatomaceous earth is a one-time use, so you use the diatomaceous earth that coats the filters. Once they get dirty, you have to flush all that out and put new diatomaceous earth in it.
and we spend $25,000 a year on maintenance alone on that swimming pool?
Probably close to that, yes, sir.
And we've been doing that for how many years?
A lot.
And that's cheap compared to some years. We
Yeah.
piled in a couple $100,000 to keep it active
It's been there
because,
since 66.
yeah, because to get it built, our other options, there was a plan way back when Donaldson was here as the mayor, that got voted down.
By the dog park.
cost him his mayoral shit.
Yeah, it did.
Because he put you remember right
Oh,
from
heck yeah.
the sign on,
Right.
Paul saying, future site of community.
Oh, yeah.
And that was right before the election. It was
Exactly.
like 2 weeks. He told me to do that. I said, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, and they were doing all the dirt work
And
for
he
the
told me he
parking
could
lot.
park it over there, yeah, and people said he's already starting.
They shot
But
that down.
it's gonna have to come up to where we've got a master plan, but we haven't figured in what that's gonna look like, and we've looked at Hobbs, we've looked at Taos with their indoor pool, and the maintenance on that was $1 million a year, do you remember?
It was
Ron?
a lot.
And so, we gotta see how big the boys we're gonna be, what we're gonna get into. But-
It's so hard for me on that because it's like we keep keeping it alive.
Right.
And at what point do we pull the plug on that and
Well, you
build
either
a new
got
pool,
zero, or you got nothing, or we're gonna have to get a bond
And
for this.
my fear is we're gonna get to a point one day.
They won't pass it.
City of Lubbock, when I was there, we saw it. When I first started City of Lubbock, we had 5 outdoor pools. In my time there, I had to close 2 of them for safety reasons. They just would not, one had a failure in the pool that it wouldn't operate anymore. And the other one had some safety concerns that they couldn't be passed anymore. In the 3 years since I've been gone, they've closed the other 3 pools.
Because
so.
it has concrete.
Yeah, it's one of them had a tank failure, a balance tank failure was the one I closed. The other one they're all built concrete pools similar to ours, and it had, the rusting out, and it was just, the rebar was rusting out of it, popping out, the shell was no longer safe. And then, like I said, since then, the other 3 have been closed down, and now, they've gone to all splash pads because they don't wanna pass the bond to pay for new pools. And splash pads are a lot cheaper.
Pads cost, man.
Well, we just don't have water.
It's, yeah, one, it's a little
Don't you
bit,
recycle?
you can.
You can recycle it, but I can tell you my grandkids have had hoof, mouth, toe, foot, fungus. Every
No,
time they go,
you can
they come
die.
home and it's like, what are you showing me? What happened to your toenails?
So I've ran both, and recirculating ones, if you properly maintain them, they are safe.
We talked about it at Wingfield Park and
Yeah.
the committee that was on that said they didn't want them.
Well, Eric Boydo was.
Oh, yeah, Eric
adamant.
Wood was adamant because it used water.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm all for
I think Eric was
getting
mad when I
Swiss
drank
LA and
water.
putting that indoor water park. I think that was a great idea. And you
agree.
recycle that water.
But, so like I said, they've gone to that, and then to your question, they can be from probably 100,000 to $1 million. It just depends on
How big and
how
what
big and what you want.
amenities you
Well,
want.
you turned me completely off with the.
Oh, my,
hoof
we
and
used to
mouth
go,
disease.
well, and I wore little tennis shoes out there on it that they permitted, And the next day, not the next day, the next week, all these kids that were there, it was a birthday party, every one of them had it.
I will say it's definitely how it's maintained.
And I'm like, yeah, you gotta, and that's what they said, they'd send it through, and so there's someplace in town, in New Mexico, that they're cycling the water out. I mean, they're using it and flushing.
City of Hobbs. When
Hobbs,
we were
and
there,
it's
City of
costing them a
Hobbs.
lot. Yeah, Mayor Cobb was telling me about
Yeah,
it.
it does cost them a lot, however, they needed the cleaner water for it helps with their wastewater treatment plant, because it goes to that. And Hobbs actually has a system to use their effluent water for park watering.
And we want to be
And
there
so,
too.
so it gave them that to then bring the water back into water the park, so it kind of, it did ultimately get used, it wasn't wasted water.
Matt, does the pool make money?
No,
No, it's an amenity.
yeah, no,
So is it a loss? Is it, is it
heavy
close
loss.
to
For the
break
kids.
even? Is it?
heavy loss.
It's just for the kids because the locals, I pay my taxes.
I mean, no, I agree.
But they don't, okay? They don't. They don't pay for that. It's GRT.
Well, I want the kids to have a swimming pool, no
Yeah.
doubt, but.
But that's where we're gonna have to look at finishing out the master plan over here, you know, this house we own right here. And
What's the shape of the old pool at Cree Meadows?
It's
No,
gone.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone.
they filled it in and they made a garage, a part of the kitchen out of it.
Oh,
We're going to.
yeah.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there any opportunity to partner up with the schools?
I'm sure there is some to look at, like maybe they can add a swim team if we are able to put indoor pools and
That's what
stuff.
would be great.
But,
So cool.
but the issue again is still just the price tag. And it's not something that we can go for a grant for. It's really something that we'll probably have to go out to bond.
Yeah, because
to fund.
even the joint powers with the school, I mean, it's all pretty much on us to fund it.
Maintain.
And that's something we talked about in our school meeting. Our
Yes.
joint school meeting was also talking about looking at a bond and who it would be better from, when we do get to that point.
It's for the children.
It's for the children.
100%.
Is it better that the schools go out for it?
Yes.
Or is it better that the village does? So it's just kind of a,
But we did with the baseball fields, the schools had the fields and, the schools had the fields, the village did the bond.
Yeah.
And that's how we got the baseball field.
and some of that is you have to look at, because the school's bond area is also the downs and is also,
They would be using
up
it.
in Alto.
They do use it.
They do,
Maybe
but
kids
Yeah,
from
'cause
surrounding
they get the
counties
votes.
That's
coming up to use
the
that.
high school baseball.
But they're not gonna vote for it.
and so, because it's in
It's like
Ruidoso.
ENMU, you know, it's just us in the Downs that support ENMU, Capitan, the county, nobody else does.
And so
There's
it's
Ozo.
just figuring out those, which, I mean, for example, our youth sports, I think 58% of them are from outside of Ruidoso proper.
Yes.
So we are the only youth sports in the full county, outside of Little League Baseball. They're their own thing, but, any other youth sports, we are the only one in the county. We have teams in our youth sports from Corona that drive all the way down. 'Cause it's either drive here and play, or drive to Socorro and play. Those are their two options.
That's why I would like to
And so-
see us go out for a geo bond for fields so that Lincoln County can help pay for it. Because
We
we
can
all
give
use it.
private money with the big beautiful bill, they get to depreciate and write it all off the first year. So that was the meeting that we had with that group. They'll do that. Swimming pool, I don't know. I didn't bring that up.
I think there might be some conversation there, because there are
But it
high
would-
altitude training for Olympians and for other things, for their swimming portions of it
But
too.
they'll have to, that'll be a user fee. They're gonna get their ROI. It's like parking. They're interested in building parking garages and all that, but they need to start paying.
Sure.
We could still give it a great reduction to locals. We can do those things, but I'm gathering all this information so we can sit down and have a big discussion about the direction we're going. Because there's a plethora of things, but then you have something that is okay, put it on your list, critical, which is more critical. That's where we go.
Exactly.
We got to do it now, we got to do it in the next 2 years, the next 3 years, 5 years, critical path to wherever we're going. And then the swimming pool keeps coming up, but it hadn't been big for the last couple of years.
Well, but Ron, isn't it in the And the comprehensive plan update?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think Matt's, he's reviewing that, the
Yeah.
pool and the, even the, trying to build the
Yes, the rec center.
rec center, yes. In our ICIP, we always have it on there also.
Just in case the state gets a wild hair and wants to give us some money for it.
You have to be quite a hair.
Yeah. But yes, so that's where we're at with the pool. Like I said, everything though has stayed pretty stable there. With our new chemical feeding system that we did put in last year, we've actually in the last, 2 years ago, I believe we decreased our chemical budget and we've actually stayed within that. And so the new system is a lot more efficient. And all it is we actually use, it's the same company, it's just their new upgraded system and it's a lot more efficient use of the chemicals. Any questions on the pool? Yeah, we'll go back to 107, and so that's the Horton Complex. And so, this is our portion of the maintenance of the Horton Complex. This is the gym, the Horton Gym there. This is not the EOC side of things. This isn't the Boys and Girls Club stuff. This is the gym maintenance side of things. Everything has stayed pretty much the same. You will see on 2 of the items, general supplies and janitorial supplies, that zero's been spent out this year. So janitorial supplies, we do one big purchase a year about this time of year. We keep that money in there in case we have some catastrophic event that happens that we have to spend money on. That kind of is our reserve. But as long as we don't have that type of event, then we do spend that money. Kind of a big order. Last year's was a little bit smaller, so this year's gonna be a little bit bigger. It just depends on, enough to try to get us through the year for that facility. And then, general supplies is kind of one of those that if something comes up, just oddities that are needed over there. And then the other items, non-cap, is things that can be if we need a new basketball goal or if we need,
How long ago was it when we resurfaced that floor and
we do it every 2 years. It's due this
2
year.
years?
So we're actually about to resurface it.
Was we still have soft spots in that floor?
There's less.
Dead spots on
There's
it.
less. There's still some. And then like, for example, that floor, if you go into the gym, the northeast corner of that floor, that actually holds corner of the building is caving in a little bit and that floor is about this lower, much lower. And that corner just drops off. But it's out of play area and so it doesn't affect
Yeah, it
play
just
in that
gives it a
gym.
little personality.
Yeah, yeah. But we actually are trying to get on the schedule. We should within the next month, I believe, for the resurfacing of the
That
floor.
place is used big time.
It is. It's used heavily by us. It's used heavily by the Boys and Girls Club. And in the springtime especially, it's used heavily by the pickleball group. And so it's a very heavily used facility that,
That's why I think another rec center, whatever would do. Everybody's gonna complain about the tag, but if it's sized right and we use it right, you could have a swimming pool so these kids could have a swim team, learn how to swim. That's what's remarkable to me is how many kids don't know how to swim. And adults around here that need to learn. And then it could be used for, jug therapy.
yeah. And a swimming pool, it gives us great opportunities if we have an indoor pool. An opportunity you talk about for the kids to learn how to swim. When I was in Levington, we did a program with our local school district in our indoor pool, and we did 4th grader swim lessons. So they actually, through the busing and all that, and if it's over here, it's even great because of the location. But they would actually come for 2 weeks. Each class we'd have 2 or 3 classes that would come each for 2 weeks. And we did 4th grade swim lessons and taught every 4th grader the basics of swimming.
Yep.
And so every 4th grader in Lovington gets to learn how to swim. And that was a partnership between the hospital, because that's who ran the pool there, and the school
I think that
district.
would be
But
used.
yes,
And then the indoor basketball, volleyball court, it could be,
indoor walking trails, things like that, indoor fitness facilities, things like that is a huge asset
So
to a
that'll help
community.
us achieve some goals and getting closer to that high altitude training center too, especially if we have an indoor facility. Because then it doesn't matter what off-season your sport is, there's climate
Well,
control
if
and.
y'all remember, and y'all were at some of the debates or whatever that we had, that's what everybody was screaming, you don't do nothing from the children.
There's
You know,
that
like,
for
what
the
was-
kids, there's plenty to do.
And they, and you live in the county, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, but, that's a big deal, but, we've got a master plan for that, but we have never done one for the rec center.
Exactly. And the other thing we talked about in the school meeting is if we went with the current master plan at White Mountain, the redesigning of the fields and stuff, one big issue I see with that, if we go with that plan of actually expanding the fields there, is that construction project will take, field construction will probably take 2 years, I'm estimating. So we would be 2 years without youth sports in the
Yep.
community, because we wouldn't have a place to do them. If we were able to find another site to put these kind of facilities, one, it would cost about the same, and then we would have 2 facilities. And 2, we will still operate out of here. And-
That's what we're talking about, the baseball fields and football
exactly.
fields and all that, but then those are gonna be paid.
Yeah.
And so you're either gonna make your money on parking,
Mm-hmm.
that you pay to park, and then you get to use the field, those little deals, but it's gonna be, revenue's gonna be generated.
Admissions and.
And then you're gonna hear squawking,
Oh, yeah,
I don't have the money,
Yep.
so.
for sure.
I'll go back to the statement I made originally, help me find a spot.
Yes, sir.
That's what we gotta do, is we gotta find somewhere to go to take that.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'd like it to be in the village so we generate the GRT, but I don't know that that's possible.
Me, and when T-Bone was still with us, me and him drove around for a few days, just every little back road trying to find a place, and in the village, and we couldn't find a place that would make it, was reasonably flat to make it, as feasible. And like I said, there were a few in the downs I think I've talked to you about, and then out on 220. And we've heard a little bit, complaints that if it's out on 220, I don't want to drive all the way out there, but like I said, we also have to remember that most of our youth is countywide, and so they're already driving from Capitan, Carrizosa, the Downs here. I realize it is our Parks and Rec that's putting it on, but if that's what's better for the whole community, or that's a possibility, and I think an extra 5 minutes of driving isn't gonna kill somebody. And we'll still have these facilities also for, evening practices and things like that.
Well, and what's that legislation that they are talking about with the National Forest, that if you butt up to it, that you can expand into that zone? I forgot how much. Is there any land, that's some of the things, it's not our land, but it's federal, that we could annex? It's things like that
Yeah, we'll
we're
start
gonna have
looking
to
at that.
really look at.
Try to get creative on it. The next budget is, is the cemeteries. And so you'll see 2 budgets there, 180 and 181. 180 is Forest Lawn, 181 is Gavilan. Both those are budgeted at $10,000. Those are pass-through departments, and so they pay us. This is the only expense you see on here is opening and closing. Water for Forest Lawn, there we go, my brain stopped, sorry. And then the other, Gavilan is just open and closing, and so those are just pass-through expenses. They pay us, we pay the contractor to open and close the graves.
Where's your mowing budget come out of, your weed
Out
whipping?
of your parks,
That's parks
right?
maintenance
Parks
budget,
maintenance.
yes, sir, that's all
Blended
within
in
parks
there.
maintenance.
So,
Yeah, all the maintaining, like I said, really the only thing in their items are, and that's just, we put 10,000 every year, it depends on how many people we bury. But like I said, it's a pass-through, so the more we bring in, the more we pay out. So that budget adjusts.
What are plots at Gavilan Gardens costing?
I believe
400, I mean,
900.
900.
900.
Yeah.
900.
And where do you buy those?
The Parks and Rec office with Melissa.
Yeah.
And we have people come in, and especially pre-planning, and so if you would like to go out there and meet her, she also goes out to the cemetery, so you can look around and say, I would like to be in this area, that area, and type of thing.
You wanna go out there with me?
Sure.
We actually,
I've got a plot at
Out there?
Forest Lawn,
Forest Lawn, but I don't know where it is.
just call Melissa, she can tell you exactly where it's at and send you a map of it.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Well,
Yeah,
we've been looking out there, and they're starting to fill up.
Yeah.
Really
it's doing really good. And
Tom keeps
it,
telling me I need to go buy one.
it's actually funny, your Patrick from the Jockey Club, he was acquiring a lot for some of your members out there, and And Melissa and Uli went out there and had like Uli like pointing to this area and this area to send pictures, and they purchased a few through him to.
The 900, is that a double decker?
No, that's, if, we can have 2 sets of cremains in there, but only 1 set of traditional, or one traditional. And so.
But you could have a traditional and a
And a
cremation.
cremate, you can have you can actually, you can maximize the grave if you'd like to and have 3. You can have a traditional first and then 2 cremains, 1 at the head and 1 at the feet.
Because my other option is get spread all over the side of the road.
Just roll the window down and keep
Yeah.
cruising, huh?
Just hope I don't end up landfill. Just throw the urn away, it's fine. So that's that one. Special Recreation Fund, so you'll see in this fund, there's, yeah, so this is like the WIBIT. This fund's not put together. This is kind of when we bring the money in, we see what money we bring in and the expenses there.
So what are the WIBIT plans this year?
So it's going up Monday. We're putting it in Monday.
You already did all the checking and patching?
Yep, so we've already done all of our checking and patching and all that stuff. There's always a little bit of that when we get it on the water, something else pops up, but. And I'm hoping to put it in the cove. That's what we're going to shoot some
I
depths
was
and stuff.
about to ask you
To put
that.
it back
So
over in
you'll
the
move
cove.
it
That, it's perfect.
Yeah, put it
That's a
back over
great
in the
spot for
cove, and that's our goal.
And how will that impact the Ironman?
So if it's in the cove, it has 0 impact on Ironman. If it's in the field, we are in the field. In the middle where we have the last several years, we've actually already talked to them, and they'll be starting on one side and kind of going to the right of it, make their loops and then exiting on the left, so it doesn't impact them.
And the exterior the same.
Yeah, exterior will be out by that time, so.
Yeah. And then,
this
well, they were talking about using it, I thought.
So they were talking
advertising.
about this past year why it was gonna be in the water, but since we didn't have it in the water, and, in October, we already have it out of the water by that point, so.
So I don't know why you couldn't incorporate that and just have because, you can climb up it and dive off that one spot, go up a little higher, and you could have his diving.
Just not quite high enough for that.
He's working so hard to get it put in.
Yeah.
Don't let all this negativity, he's using reverse psychology.
It's getting us more motivated to get it done, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But so for the WIBIT and ice,
psychology.
yeah, WIBIT and ice rink, those funds just aren't in, they'll be built out.
How is the parking gonna be handled for WIBIT?
So it's the same as we have in the past. We have parking attendants, at the gate, and they'll be charged $10 a person from 8 to 5, 7 days a week.
We have internet out
So,
there.
yeah, we have internet that they take card, and, then we have parking attendants that help park
And-
people.
What about the mountain bikers? How do they get there?
Gotta buy your season pass,
Yeah.
gotta buy your season
Or they
parking
sneak
pass.
in the back.
Yeah, and they're,
It's only,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have.
it's $20.
so if you're,
This counts for locals.
yeah, if you're a village, if you live in the village, it's $10 for a season pass. If you live in Lincoln County, it's $20 for a season pass. And if you're in the state, you're $30.
Parking at the lake?
Yes, at the lake.
If there's parking to be.
Yeah, if there's parking to be, if we're not full.
There's been some days, all those, have you been out there and looked at the tiers? I mean, I was shocked.
And those that don't want to pay for parking, there's still Fisherman's Trail. They can park down at the disc golf course and walk up the backside of the dam, up Fisherman's Trail and go around.
And
But-
indeed, they do.
And they do.
do.
We have
They do.
a contingency of people that refuse to pay for parking. They don't care. They'll walk the extra. They'll come in and complain because they had to walk, but
I buy the $10 season pass and I've never had a problem.
And it's free for veterans. correct?
Veterans do,
The
yes.
parking, get that.
yes, sir, they just have to come by the office.
So the question coming up, or I get all the time, what about the camping spots? You know, they say, we don't camp here,
Zero.
but can we park there? You know, fix those up for parking
We do use them for
spots?
parking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's-
So that around.
That's the
Yeah,
only-
we don't do camping
Never noticed
anymore.
it being up there. Is
We're not
that,
using the bathrooms
is
either.
the bathroom operated? That's-
So, we do open it in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah, we do for,
That's
so if
good.
anybody parked up there, and then we use it a few times throughout the year. We have different groups that do come in and camp throughout the year. Texas Tech brings in a class 2 to 3 times a year that camps up there for it's a venture media class, so they'll use it. Boy Scouts usually once a year camps up there, for something, and so we'll open it for them and
So you said we don't do camping.
Not camping to the general public.
We're not operating that campsite?
No, sir.
Good.
We had too many problems trying to find a camp house.
Yeah, camp
I always
house
had a
was,
problem with us competing against small businesses, other campgrounds.
Yes, sir. So we don't anymore. We use it for overflow parking, and then, like I said, for when those groups come in, we do facilitate that, and it's an area that we can use.
So did we ever put anything, what really shut us down was the dirt. And driving through there and going up to, Moose's.
Mountain High.
Yeah, and we had that gate open and people coming through creating dust, and the people on the other side, on the east side of the highway street there, were calling about all the dust, and there'd be dust everywhere.
and noise too.
And noise.
And noise is what I
So-
got.
It'd be nice if, sometime we could get a map of all village-owned properties. Just so, Mayor, as you're talking about brainstorming, we can have an idea of what maybe some of our options are.
Okay.
Mayor, and council, I believe we'll have to go back and look. I think we had one because we were trying to find some spots to set some mobile homes and things like that, so we'll look on that.
Vacant.
Okay.
Created one.
Yeah.
What's that?
We had created one, so there's one there.
And you can always use OnX too. Yeah, the app on your phone, you can just cruise through and
What's
see.
it called?
OnX,
And it'll show ownership.
Property lines.
property
and-
lines, ownerships, latitude,
It's a good-
longitude.
Assessor's office a little bit.
Good app.
Oh, yeah, I use it frequently. Just make sure I'm on the right piece of property sometimes.
I just,
Well, I tried using those when you're going jeeping and
yeah,
on whose property, or you can cross it to get to public property, but you better not get off of it.
Do not, sir.
The Onyx Off-Road works real good too.
Huh?
The Onyx Off-Road?
Does it?
Do you have to pay for the app?
Yes.
There's a free version of it, but it's not as good as the $9 a year or whatever it
You can
is.
have the free version, you can see.
Yeah, you can still see all this stuff on the free. So those are, like I said, the Whibbit, we can go through the items, but it's all the same, and we'll build out the full budget. The empty spots, kind of with revenues and stuff.
Yeah.
And, the ice rink is the same way. We build out that budget before ice rink season. Those are our two enterprise funds.
Now, are you doing the fund, the food, or you gonna bid it out?
We've been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been working out. We just do basic concession items, and it works out better for us.
Ready to eat,
Yeah.
open, and
Chips and little things like that, candy. And it actually works because we can actually run the Whibbit out of the dam house also, so it's kind of a twofold. We have the concession stand and the Whibbit operations all out of the same location. So because previously we set the tent up on the beach to do the Whibbit operations out of, and then had a vendor for the concession stand, and they were open sometimes, weren't open other times. It was hard to
how's
fight
the
that.
beach looking?
It looks really good.
Is the water getting
does.
close enough to it?
It's real
getting
close.
closer.
It's real close.
We were there this weekend and this past weekend.
We went
It's looking
paddleboarding a
really
couple weeks
nice.
ago out there, and it's looking just.
I'm actually and the dock that was on the boat ramp, we're about to probably have to move out to a different part of the lake because it's coming all the way up. It's almost to the concrete on the boat ramp.
Yeah, you can't even dive off the cliffs in the back anymore. They're
There's
just,
no cliffs.
no cliffs, it's like 5
You
foot.
just hop off now. So we're very happy with the levels.
That's awesome.
And everybody that comes in is very happy with the levels. We've had people come by the office and like, I don't know what you did, but there's a lot more water in that lake. Yes, there is.
But is it to the concrete of the boat ramp, Matt?
It's very close.
Hey.
Yeah, very
It was
close.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And I haven't been out there this week. It might be touching that concrete at this point, but
Have you ever had
That's exciting.
people complain about the fishermen on the docks? You can't get in your boats or that kind of stuff?
it's very rare. We have had a few,
Okay.
and that's why I'm gonna pull that, because when it's really low, there's plenty of room to put that dock by the ramp. Now that
Right.
it's getting so high, it is gonna be an issue, so we'll move that.
Might need to move it.
Yeah, we'll move that dock around a different portion of the lake.
Okay.
So, yes, ma'am.
Good problem to have.
Real
And-
good problem.
Yeah, and the next, if we go on down to, page 115, there is the watershed, and so that's the portion that comes out of that WIBIT and those funds to go to watershed projects.
Yeah.
Give me an example, Matthew, of a watershed project.
So some of the things we've paid for out of that can be some tree management around Wingfield Park, or around Wingfield, around Grindstone. There's a culvert on the backside of Grindstone by our back bathroom that we had to replace and fix the road there, and so we were able to use those funds to fix that culvert. We have an internal watershed advisory committee that kind of goes through those projects. It's made up of me, Jacqueline, Dick, Bianca, and Susan, our Councilwoman Letterman.
We get, Parks and Rec gets 30%, and the forestry gets 70%.
Yeah.
And they turn around and do things on the trails, they might put in benches or,
It's just
and I was told that the thistles are really, they gotta hold them. They're not,
well, no, I agree.
have got a hold of them?
Yeah, we're doing really well at the lake in those areas. Private land, there's still a lot of thistle stuff, but that's one thing also. I have my seasonal staff, my lake staff, they get to go pull thistles when they see them too, to try to help manage
That
them around
one
the
year
lake.
that place was eat up, you couldn't get anywhere.
No, we're definitely trying to get a better
I'm really
hold of it.
surprised we haven't had incidents. I mean, I've almost been just ran over before on guys hauling on bicycles, and you get people on horses. It's multi-use trail.
Yeah, we get calls every year of, a bicyclist calling mad about a horse or horse rider
And the
calling mad
rule
about
is
a bike.
horse first,
Yes,
person second, and then it's bicycle?
no, horse, bicycle, then person.
Okay.
Yeah. The least controlled are the most controlled. And so horses are least controlled because they're wild, they're animals, so you can say they're trained, but they're least controlled. And bicycles, of course, are under that. And as a person, it's real quick to just stop, and let somebody else go by, so. Any questions on any of those?
This has been very informative, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a question on revenue, because I've been looking for it. Where is the money coming from, Winter Park?
It is not coming to my budget, I am not sure, sir.
I
It goes to
remember
general
the
fund, but
day
I don't
when
know.
we used to have a recreation fund designated, and it was established when, the New Mexico had a cigarette tax on cigarettes, so they still do, but a small 3% of cigarette tax came to municipalities. Half of it went to general fund, the other half went to recreation fund. And that's what created that
We still
fund.
have an excise tax, Ron. Where does it go?
And
For the which one, for which, Mayor?
For cigarettes and whiskey?
That one there, the state took all of the
it
cigarette
went
tax.
away, because that's when Richardson came in and he
Yes.
eliminated that tax.
Yep.
So it went away, and that's where I tried getting back on the council, trying to keep that recreation
Well,
fund.
And I
To-
think it was you yesterday was talking about the cannabis tax.
Yeah, and I'm biased to Parks and Rec, and that's where I say that
Thank you.
cannabis allocation goes to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I've got the slogan ready for you. Smoke the grass to grow the grass.
That's it. But
They smoke the grass, we grow the grass.
Sadly, from a
Yeah.
revenue
Works.
standpoint, the cannabis
it's
revenue.
dropping
dropping.
down.
And looking at alternative funding sources for Parks and Rec, there's really cool models all over the country. When I was in Abilene, we had a program called Park Bucks, that on your water bill, you could add, I think it was $1, you could round up to the next dollar, add $1, $3, $5, or $10. It was a voluntary program, and that went to a special recreation fund that you could add on to
None
each.
of our citizens aren't gonna
No,
round
but
up.
they'll go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and round up.
Yeah, and so,
But if we captured some of that revenue, like when people are paying for their parking at the lake or concessions or things like that, you could do a roundup
so
on
those,
that?
those
Is that
are already.
something that's actually,
We figured the taxes and everything in, so we have a flat fee, so like, the
Gotcha.
actual cost of parking at the lake is, I think, $9 and like 56 cents or something, whatever it is. But we figure the tax already in, so it's $10 flat. We don't add the tax in on
Is
top of
there
it.
like you could click a donation button or anything? Like, is
Not-
there like a
not
secondary
currently.
option?
Not currently.
I'm just, an extra dollar here and there could help. Yeah, help pay for some jerseys for kids or something.
Well, I was just wondering about that because that was something that departments always fought for. It's our program in our park. Let it go towards the improvement of the parks. Still having the portion budgeted out of general fund like normal.
Well, it ensures the viability.
And that's the whole part. I mean, that was always the argument with
That's,
previous administration. So that's what concerned me here, of nothing from Winter Park, because that's over $100,000.
that goes in the general fund. The
it
only
just-
funds we maintain in our own coffers, I would say, would be the WIBIT funds. Those, because it's an enterprise fund. The WIBIT and ice rinks are enterprise funds, so we remain those in our own coffers.
Right.
Everything else goes into general
To
fund.
the general fund.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sorry. Mayor and Council, we did have an adjustment to our schedule. We're gonna go ahead and skip to senior center while we have Matthew here, and then we'll go into the airport.
Okay.
And Anthony, come on down, Anthony.
Come on.
This one's a lot smaller budget, so.
123,
Yes, sir, 123. I will let Anthony take this one away, and I'll be here for any backup questions.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor, councilors. So a lot of my budget stayed the same from last year. We can start at the top with, on page 124, this would be the actual community center. Subscriptions and dues stayed the same, $640. General office supplies went up a little bit because we don't have the RSVP grant no more, so I had to go up on copy paper a little bit for the tax season, so I would need more copy paper, so I went up by $300 to $800.
You should just go over to the library and they'll let you do it for cheap.
She's listening up there. Janitorial supplies stayed the same, 3,600. That's plenty. It'll get us through the year. We still have a little bit left for this year, so it's getting us through. Non-cap is staying the same, 6,100. Let me see utilities, that's run by, through accounts payable. Fuel stayed the same, $350. That should be okay with us. Special projects, that went up a little bit. I forgot safety equipment, still the same as well, 400. That gets us through with everything. Special projects, that's where we get our food from for our lunches and breakfast.
Yeah.
We ran out of that funding now in February, so, we moved it up to 10,000, so that should get us through the year, which is what I averaged too, so that went up there. Telephone stayed the same. Got out of travel and schools, we budgeted for 3,500 for conferences and stuff. A lot of the grant paid for that, but I'd still like to go to conferences for, community center, senior center stuff. Gives me ideas for all of that. So that's at 3,500. Equipment rental, I moved that up a little bit. I know that they put $7,500 in there before for a generator for the community center in case it's needed for shelter for the EOC operation stuff. But I went up on that because the RSVP grant paid for our copy machine. So I went up to 10,500 so we can actually keep our copy machine. So that way, that's the only way we make copies for the center, flyers and all of that. So that went up to 10,500, went up $3,000. And what do I got next? Equipment maintenance agreements, that stayed the same. We pay for mountain alarm out of that and stuff, water company stuff for our RO system. Equipment maintenance, that was the agreements. This is equipment maintenance. On the next one, it stayed the same. So that's at 1,800. Vehicle maintenance stayed the same, 500. That's plenty for us to get through. Our vehicles are in good shape, so we shouldn't need much more than that. Building and property maintenance, it stayed the same as well. So So yeah, there was only a couple line items that actually went up on me, so we're pretty much at the same rate. We didn't ask for no personnel this year, and we didn't need no capital outlay money. The building is in fairly good shape, everything's good, so we're just maintaining at this point.
Currently that division's at 3 personnel. Anthony, and then a custodian and a tech, community center tech.
What about the RSVP program, Anthony? I know it's not being funded, so we're just gonna are we still gonna have stations so that people can volunteer around the community in Lincoln County?
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Letterman, yes, actually, the RSVP program will be dissolved. The federal part of it dissolved now in March. The state part of it will dissolve in the end of June. But yes, all the volunteer stations are still running, they're active. Since I got a hold of all the volunteers telling them that we were gonna dissolve the program, they all are staying on board with these different
And so
stations.
no more banquets or giveaways?
Yes, the banquets will dissolve there, in the, the gifts we give them, $25 gifts twice a year, that will dissolve as well. The big hit that it was gonna be taking was the mileage reimbursement to like the 12, 15 people that actually received it.
Yeah.
But all of them are still gonna volunteer as well. That's what they do. They're retired, they just wanna do something.
Something that you might consider at the end of the year, every year, is to bring them before the council, those people that have their 1,000 volunteer hours, that you always do, and at least recognize them. And that might be a nice thing. I know it's not as good as a swag and a dinner, but at least we could recognize them.
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Letterman, to that, what we had to do is track their hours through a system called Volunteer Reporter.
Oh, okay, so
So,
you're not even gonna be doing that.
We're not gonna be tracking their hours because,
Yeah.
you have to get with each station every month, track the hours.
Yeah.
You need a person in that position to be able to do that.
Sure.
Because that person is contacting the station, staying in
Okay,
contact.
yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Registering volunteers, tracking the hours, doing all of that, it requires that other position to do it.
Okay.
We would love to actually acknowledge these volunteers because they put thousands of hours in there. I mean, there's a lot that they do, and we'd love to track that. But when you dissolve that position, you dissolve that employee as well.
Okay,
So,
I didn't even think of that.
There are volunteers that are in the center that run a lot of our classes. That's why we don't have to have as many employees, because there's volunteers running classes and helping out at the center all the time. What the center wants to do is, staff wants to be able to recognize these, track their hours in the center, and actually acknowledge them for the work they do at the center.
Good
That would be
idea.
nice. Yeah.
Because, I mean, if we didn't have them, we would need 3 more employees.
Yeah,
So we're gonna still track their hours, hopefully buy them a gift once a year, make them a dinner, maybe do it at TP Lounge. TP Lounge said they would do it for us as long as we had 50 people. So that's easy. We have that many volunteers in the centers
Yeah.
anyways. So, we could probably do a dinner for them and still buy them T-shirts or something
Yeah.
to recognize them for the work that they do at the center. But when you get out to the public with all of the volunteer stations that are actually out there, if we don't have them under the grant, we had 13 stations, but actually the stations that are out there that didn't sign up with us, I mean, there's probably like 50 stations out there.
sure.
So tracking that, I mean, if you were just trying to track the hours of all
Yeah.
these people, I mean, it would be an abundance
Well,
of hours, and that would be hard.
Uh,
So
Point well taken.
downsizing it, yeah, you end up with that hit. The good thing on that side is, like I said, every volunteer that I've reached out to every volunteer that we have on board, 240, 250 volunteers, and they all have stated they're still gonna volunteer, and that's what they do. They're retired, and that's what they're there for. So, they're like, we don't care about the recognition, we just
Yeah.
do this. And a lot of
Well,
them,
that's good to know.
when we would give them gifts and gift cards and all of that, we would hound them to actually, come and get your gift card, come and get your gift card, come, I mean, I would email them and call them and email them, I mean, they just didn't really, they were
did
like,
it
we
'cause they
don't.
did it.
Yeah, we don't care about the recognition, give it to somebody else, a lot of them would say, so they're still, out of their hearts, they're still gonna volunteer out there, so
Good.
that's the good thing about it.
Mayor, Council, Anthony, obviously I have I have a heartfelt place for the community center as well. I mean, you and my grandpa had an awesome relationship for over a decade of volunteering.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at least more than that. And I would love to see those volunteers recognized as well. And I think my grandpa got a little plaque, or there was something that he got for the tens of thousands of hours that he volunteered over there. And I wonder, I know that the RSVP grant is no longer funding those types of things. Is there any way that we can reach out to community, to obtain community sponsors to recognize those people?
Yeah.
I'm sure
Sure
we can.
I mean, I know myself personally, I would love to donate something. I'm
That's
sure.
kind of what we do for the other volunteers that are on all the committees.
Yeah.
Mayor and council, I think some of the difficulties, because we've spoke about that, is these areas that, these groups that we had on our rolls, the 250, but there's also a ton of other, the Pink Ladies weren't on within our group, and it's kind of, it's gonna be difficult to figure out that, who,
Well, I'm talking about,
Yeah,
or
but-
I'm
but
thinking
for
we're
the
just
RSVP.
talking about
but
at
for the
the
RSVP.
senior center.
At the senior center, definitely.
The volunteers,
Definitely.
just strictly for, because that's our facility and that's their other businesses that have volunteers, they could recognize them
And I can only
individually.
imagine the heartfelt relationship that Anthony has with all
Oh,
those
yeah.
people too. I mean, you work with them.
that's- So I'd like
all the
that.
time.
And I think it's important, not just the community center, it might be all village volunteers. So like community center or at, the volunteers that work out at, Billy the Kid or at the library.
Right.
Or kind of at the ones that volunteer for the village. We do something to recognize them, I
We
think.
always
would
do.
be- Yeah, I mean, not like the ones that work in the Friends of the Library bookstore.
Oh.
Or at Billy the Kid, Visitor Center, or, kind of those areas the ones that normally come and volunteer at the museum to help them, or things like that, to include those in with the community center volunteers and host maybe an annual banquet to help, to thank those for helping the village. Yeah, village departments. Because those are a little easier to track. If we just open up, say, hey, if you volunteer in the community, come out, you're gonna have everybody in there, and their mom out there, but.
Totally, yeah, but
no.
invitation or whatever it is to let those people know to be recognized, so. Anyway, I appreciate what you do, Anthony, very much, and I know it's, difficult to see that grant disappear, but you have my support for what you're doing.
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Brophy, thank you, I appreciate that. The center does a lot, and we just continue to just move forward and represent everybody. And yes, your grandfather's missed a lot. I mean, he was there 8-10 hours a day, 5 days a week, so the amount of hours, they're still in that system, I could pull it up, there's a lot.
There are.
Yeah. He always spoke very highly of you, so.
Appreciate that.
Mayor, while we're talking about recreation, what's happening at the golf course?
He's doing business, and they've been working on
What are
the,
their plans as far as improvement?
well, they've just tried to survive. I mean, he's got his business back, they've dropped the rates. Do you know what the rates are now? They got them back where they're very affordable,
Yeah, it's like $40 for
and they're doing
Twilight
half
Round.
days.
I think it's
and
Twilight
getting
Round's
more tuned
40
into the
and 78 or 82 or something
community.
floating around.
They,
What about the fencing?
they haven't done anything on the fencing just yet. And they're working on the trenches, and they've had to redo some of the water lines. And then, and I've talked to Todd 2 or 3 times, driven around on just the cut-throughs that they have for the water that ties into the other part of the drainage so that it doesn't overload and take out, what's that street? I can never remember where you live.
Oh, Warren Tucker?
Warren Tucker, it's flooding that area and over to that, and then into the school. So they were trying to stop some of that, because we've had a lot of meetings showing that what they're doing is not causing the flooding. Because, we've had the Shaw sisters and different ones that have been, well, they do miss you. They miss you.
What is that guy's name?
Todd Behringer. And he does, butter.
Is that the last steering?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was Butterfield and,
Is he here full-time?
nope. He's got people that are here that moved here from, Las Cruces. He has Butterfield in El Paso and,
Red Hawk, I believe.
What?
Is it Red Hawk in
No.
Cruces?
Picacho
sorry.
Hills.
Is the pro shop open? What about the concession stand?
Yep. Yep.
Driving range, concession.
And they had to move out of that one building because it's about to fall down that we own, where the offices were at. Every time it rained, and then the wind was
Rained
ripping the
inside, too.
siding off. So we're looking at that one because it's ours, all that's ours now after that lease, it reverts back. And as junky as it is, so we're having to look at some grants.
That's the old fire station, correct?
Mm-hmm, still fire station. And, but they still have in plans to where they could.
Wait, was this next to Hubbard's office? That
That's all ours.
barn
That's all ours.
is Hubbard's office ours?
No. Yeah, yes. And then Hubbard and them owned where the glass shop's at.
Yeah, that building.
And then they were, underneath it is where they had a lot of the mechanic shop for the golf course. And so they wanted, and I don't know what was wrong with him, but he gave a price of $800-something thousand. He ended up selling it for $400. And Todd would have bought it. And he was trying to negotiate with them, but Donaldson kept throwing this high price at him, and then we found out they sold it for half of it. And he wanted to keep it, to move everything over and then redo that, because what he wants to do on the north end of the Elegante is have a little, not a breezeway, but enclosed, and then build a restaurant bar.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But he's got to get in there and start, and I was shocked at the revenue he's starting to generate.
Good.
There was people out there yesterday.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
saw,
it was windy
man,
as
they're like-
And then the other day, I don't know if it was mommy and golf day or whatever, but they had all these women pushing their babies. And yeah, there was a bunch, y'all see them? I watched them all around here, and I called him and I said, what do y'all got going on? He said, it's a little tournament.
Yeah, they're doing some really cool programming and tournaments. I know they have the local tournaments on, I think Tuesdays is women's night, Thursdays is men's night. Little tournaments, they're doing a lot of local tournaments. and stuff.
Fired back up for the season.
Yeah. They're keeping that driving range really nice. I go out there and I enjoy it.
Yeah, they're working on trying to get it back, and they know they're gonna have to make some modifications because of Cedar Creek dumping right there. And then Alpine Village catches that portion. Cedar Creek comes down through here, and then Alpine catches that part. So they're working on it. We've had a couple meetings. He did show up at that meeting, comprehensive plan. Okay, anything else?
I'll stand for any questions.
When's your construction gonna start?
Oh, that's, I'll let
We're still held up
Oh, yeah, I'm
with some,
We have our attorney reviewing that agreement with White Sands on that, and
on some design
Remember
issues.
we had a grant, we paid for them for the design, and they're claiming it's design and construction, and they think we're excluding them when we just went out for additional bid.
that's
So we're
right.
getting held up from those guys.
and
Okay.
Mayor and Council, Anthony's plan would use, what's his name, Shimada? Yabimoto. To be, he could be he has the architect of record, he stamped it, utilize him and then do the bid docs, but White Sands will not allow him to do that. And, because we paid him through White Sands Construction, he was a sub, and that's what we're wanting to do. If we get another architect, they already came and looked at the plan sets and said, no, we can't, we'll have to redesign the whole thing, so.
So we're working through that.
Okay,
So, community center expansion held up by White Sands Construction.
Yep.
Until
fair
we'll start
statement.
talking about it. That Monday morning with the mayor.
Sounded like his radio voice.
Yeah.
Okay, we ready? Good?
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
thanks a lot, Anthony.
So we have 76 on here, Vaughn?
Thank you, Manny.
for the meeting next week on condemnation. But most of them are empty. I think all of them are empty.
Mayor, Councilor Solis, if I might backtrack a little bit to your question regarding the winter park revenues.
Yeah,
Those currently go into the general fund, line 56211 in the general fund revenues.
Except for 16, fire department.
That's for Parks and Rec and Senior Center rents.
Look at that, Eastad Fire Department.
And Robin looked at it. We currently don't have the revenues for the winter park in at the moment, but we'll add those in there at about 200,000.
okay, 200.
200,000.
The place generates money, but boy, is it a workhouse.
Yvonne,
Currently, it's at 50,000 is what's in the
make
proposed,
sure
but
that
that'll
she
be
knows
adjusted.
about the firemen, or is Dina? Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's already on there.
okay.
That's what I was saying is because it's talking about having a conversation about forming this group.
Yeah,
And I said, make sure it says firefighters, so people know what it's about.
How long's the agenda?
It's not gonna take long. We just have to read through all the Slay Drive, Fern Trail, all these, 10 of them approve it. 10 of them approve 76. So there's 7, 8 lines, and the last one has 6. And that's, the other one's just, approving some tree thinning with Garrisons on a project that Dick has, and then, what was the other one? The other one's, Nina's gonna give a report.
I'm like, I don't want that. So,
What? Amazon.
I don't know, probably.
I saw that on your
A lot of
card.
people,
Did you?
Yeah, when I went into New Year.
we're doing collective bargaining.
what page are we on there?
Airport team.
117.
Page 118.
118.
That'll be the start of the revenues.
Are they gonna have those shirts for sale in the airport gift shop?
I'm thinking about it. I wanted to see what reactions were on it.
I feel like I'd wear one.
You got a model, you got a pose though.
There you go.
I thought it was, upside down pineapples when I first saw them.
Where'd you get that, Lee?
Amazon.
Really?
Yeah.
And you gave them your logo and
Just give them a logo.
they
So I
slapped it on?
got swag for the conference.
Uh-huh.
And I was going through and I was looking at some other stuff, and these shirts come up. And I was like, how that would look. And then my guys started asking me, hey, can we get a Hawaiian shirt? And I said, well, I actually ordered me one, so we'll see how it turns out. Because, getting it from Amazon, you never know whether it's
Yeah, you don't know.
straight out of China.
Is that our approved logo for the airport?
Yes, sir.
I like it.
Yeah, I like the,
Well, that's not the one we're getting trademarked. It may be one of them. But the one that we're trying to get trademarks, like whatever it's got on right there.
Well, you look good, Lee.
Could it be used or? I like it.
Part of it is we want people to use it, and the other part, we just want them to modify it and to so much that it's not ours anymore. So. Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning.
So most of my budget has pretty much stayed the same. I've dropped a few line items. My biggest ask, if you look at my full-time salaries, we're asking for $466,710.
120.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, 466.
Am I looking at the wrong thing?
What page are we on?
120.
Back at,
120.
Top line.
120.
and then
Okay. What do you guys say, 5 aught, 5
And then
aught,
what
or
we
5
ended up
aught
doing
0 or
is
something,
move the
5 aught
check.
4?
Odd five.
Right. So.
4, where you at?
First line.
120.
Page 120, top line item.
50,000. Well, that's the number. 50 and 3 zeros. Last year, y'all granted me 2 temporaries, and I would like to turn those into full-time positions with getting the airline in here and having to boost our ARF and have more responsibility with airline. I'd like to have the full-time positions,
What's boosting your ARF mean?
more personnel.
Oh,
For the firefighting and stuff like that.
Firefighting.
So, Lee, what, the airline will provide for their own ticketing,
Yep.
baggage handling,
Yep.
Yes.
direction of the plane?
We will probably still be marshaling them in to parking,
Okay.
but they will take care of their stuff.
With commercial aircraft coming in, are there any additional safety requirements?
So we are already a Part 139 airport, a certificated airport. So we're already following the protocols for commercial service.
Okay, and I'm thinking like a fire engine or,
No, the trucks we have are, so we're a Class A airport for ARF. And we have a Class A truck and we also have a Class B
Okay.
truck. So,
help me out, what does that mean practically?
so, Class A is, they set that off of your, target aircraft. So whatever aircraft you have coming in most of the time, that's where they set the class off of. So the aircraft that we have coming in most of the time makes us a Class A. And this aircraft that we're getting will still fall under that same heading as a Class A airport.
Okay.
137?
It's a, ERJ 145, 30 seat.
No, but what are we classified as? I hear it all the time.
139.
139,
139.
yeah.
So, yeah,
And then we're our own, we have our own fuel system, and that's called a, come on, Lee. FBO, fixed base operator. Yeah. So we do all of that, and that's one of the reasons that we've upped our security, where we have the new digital, the cards that you have to get in. Before, I think I was the only one in the county, maybe you, that didn't have the PIN code to get in on the back, and we were having the parties, and we've had people leasing and renting and using those things for storage rather than aviation. So we've upped all of that, and that allows us to get some of the additional grants that we've got. And so there's certain rules that we follow.
So, Lee, could you help me out? Says here you've got 8 full-times equivalents.
There's 8. There's only 7 of us out there.
When you go to the front,
117?
on the front of it where it says airport, it says full-time,
Yes, yep,
What page is that on in here?
117.
FTE 8, is that what you're looking at, Greg?
full-time employee, 8.
It's right here. Yep. Here's your breakdown.
So, who are, what?
So I've got,
Not who, but what are those positions?
I've got 4 line techs, 1 line tech supervisor, myself, and an admin position.
Okay, and then what about those temps?
They were
Those
mowing
are-
grass.
Those were the ones that I was provided with last year,
And
Is that in this FTE?
Is that,
No,
you have 2 part-time in checks,
part-time,
your 2 part-time
we
positions
never
are the
did get
temps.
them.
yeah, they're temps.
They're temp.
We can't ever get
No,
one
they were,
agreed to
Where are
it.
they at?
And I think once we get the new, terminal, then they'll open up that bay, they'll have a better operation.
Okay.
But we've had the ability to maybe bring in
Counselor
some
Cory,
mobile.
I had a miscalculation on my personnel budgeted
Okay.
listing. Currently, we had put in the line service technician as 5. That should be reduced to 4, and then it'll be 2.5 employees for the part-time, and that should have been
You're
under Tim.
counting them
So
half each.
Yes,
Okay.
so
And,
it should be 7 full-time employees.
and Lee, are you asking to,
I'm asking to turn those 2 temporary positions that were,
into one or into?
into.
One into
asking
2.
to turn those 2 temp positions into 2 full-time positions.
Okay. And the duties, those,
The duties of the full-time positions will be the same as what the current, line techs are now. So they'll be
and
line
this
techs,
is
they'll be
in
mowing.
anticipation of the new air service?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then speaking of the new air service, the FBO, will they be purchasing fuel here or will they be buying out of?
Probably not.
Doubt it, because they'll buy it cheaper.
That's a price issue.
They, my last meeting with them, they will be doing a turnaround here. So they will overnight in Denver, come in the morning, fly back out, come back the next day, whatever.
Not necessarily.
And,
They've told us we've hooked them up with Elevate, and they're talking about spending the night.
Cool.
What, the conversations we've had with them.
And how big's their flight?
well, I guess they're going back
3.
and forth because,
They may not know what needs to be done yet,
They
or
may
how it's
not.
gonna work out
when
yet.
I talked to
2
them last
pilots and a flight
Keeping all the
attendant.
options open.
But we have lab service that they can do. They're gonna have to bring in some equipment at starter for the jets.
week, they'll bring an air start for the jet and they'll have it there just in case they need it. We have the lab service, we have the, GPU, if they
The
need the
lab
GPU.
service will be
Toilets.
draining their,
They're cleaning their, draining their toilet tanks and then they'll put water back in.
so you've got that equipment already?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We just bought it not too long ago,
last
last
year.
year.
Yeah, last year.
Okay, and then I presume they'll buy their, concessions in Denver
I'm sure they'll have their own,
locally?
yeah.
They will have some storage here for, spare parts and concessions. Basically soda pops and candy bars.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Lee, so we don't have a tower.
No, ma'am.
So how do you tell, how did they leave? So,
To explain to her how that goes,
yeah,
He stands up on a really tall ladder.
he gets in to
right
back
the
up
middle
that
of
new truck he got.
I stand on top of the roof.
Just stand on the roof and wave them down.
For you to go.
We're good.
yeah, we don't
No,
have any
so whenever
controllers,
they,
so,
before they take off from here, they contact Albuquerque Center, which is the tower in Albuquerque.
and they know that we've got,
Got radar, satellite.
okay,
And Albuquerque's the one that gives them clearance to
Okay.
take off. And it's the same way with, all the jet traffic we get in here.
yeah,
Net jets, flex jets, all those guys, they do the same thing. They have to call Albuquerque Center
okay,
to get clearance before they can take off out of here.
okay.
We were talking to Matt earlier. How are you handling janitorial?
The line techs are doing
Okay, okay.
so our line techs do our janitorial, they do the line service, they do ARF, they do the mowing. So, yeah,
So they're busy
line
every
techs
day.
Do everything,
They're busy every day doing stuff.
busy every day.
Which is good.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'd hate to go to a job and sit around.
And we don't
No,
have
thanks.
certified firefighters out there
Nope.
anymore?
Yes, well, not, our personnel are certified ARF.
So they meet, but you remember we used to.
They're not firefighters like here in town.
Right,
Their specialty is aircraft rescue and firefighting.
okay.
They go to school the first time they go to school, they go to DFW for a week. And they go through the training, and then once a year they have to do live burn. And then once a year they have to do recurrent training for, we have a program through, called Digicast. And for our Part 139 airport, we have to do recurrent training every year. And part of that is the ARF classroom stuff. And then the other part of that training is the recurrent training we have to do for the airfield safety, airfield lighting, and schools.
What about de-icing on?
They're bringing the equipment.
They're gonna have to bring their own equipment. We don't have anything like that.
Will they provide the manpower or train our?
Yeah, they'll de-ice their own thing. So, what our position will be with the airplane itself is, marshaling it in, and then cleaning up the aftermath of the hordes of people that'll be coming in, that we're hoping for.
Oh, they're coming. It's gonna happen.
Do they have fold-out stairs?
No, they're gonna have that and a ramp, she said.
Yeah, the ramp,
Yeah,
right?
For those that
that's
are
what they said.
ADA.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, their door folds out into stairs and goes within about a foot of the ground. And they'll use that most of the time, and then they will probably have to bring in a ramp that we'll have to figure out somewhere there on our ramp to park it. And they'll roll it out to the airplane when they need it.
Okay. And forgive me, my 400 questions, but, so you've got room for them to have a ticket counter?
We're working on that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
They've already been here
Do you
looked
have
at it.
room for a potential rental car?
We're working on that too with Enterprise.
Okay.
We'll make it work, right?
We'll make it work.
We're gonna make it work, and it's gonna be great.
I like that attitude.
We will make it work.
Yeah, and then get more stuff as you go, and you'll figure out what you need, and they'll figure out what they want, and handle the volumes of people.
So Madison, I'm a little confused on the budget. So current year budget's 636,000.
Which line are you looking at?
I'm on page 120,
120, is this the personnel?
personnel.
Okay,
Current year budget is 636. I presume Lee asked for 873,000.
that is correct.
And then now we're at 690,000.
That's correct, so I believe, let me look at my notes here, I
So does the
apologize.
690 include his two part-timers becoming two full-timers?
It does not include both of them, it includes one of them.
Okay.
And the reclassification, so one of them will stay as a temporary employee, and then, the increase from moving
So
one
instead of
temp.
getting two
Yes.
FTEs, he's gonna have 1.5.
Correct,
Okay.
yes. And so the difference, we only took out the full-time salary for one of those employees, and then we took out half of a salary since we already had the temporary budget in there.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
we only really needed to add in half a
Thank you, Madison.
salary.
So he'll get two full-time employees, but the way that the budget breaks down is they're taking the temp pay.
He'll only get one.
And your,
asking for two.
Yes.
and your temporaries are 9-month employees, correct?
Sorry.
Your temporaries work for 9 months? That's what I kind of remember the law
I think
doing
the
for
law is
para.
9 months.
It's 9 months.
Yeah, and so this last year, we were only able to hire one,
Right.
so we kept him on a little bit longer because we had the budget for two, but he was only here from,
Did he work
June
more,
through
that's
February.
my question, did he work more than 9 months
No.
or? Okay, so that's where this part-time one is budgeted for 9 months work. So there'll be 3 months where,
So they're working 40 hours a week?
40
for
hours
9
a week
months.
for 9 months.
And there has to be a break, like a 30-day break, and then they can go back.
And then,
Complete break.
okay,
well, these were temps, so they didn't work 40-hour weeks.
Okay.
They work, what, 35, I think, is the max?
And you can do it however you want, but they can only do it for the 9
Is
months.
the max, and then we,
but yeah, you could work them 40 hours, but 9 months is the max. It's my understanding.
they can work for 40 hours.
Right.
Depending on the schedule.
Right.
Typically, your classification between part-time and full-time is that 30
Right.
hour.
30 hours, that's it, huh,
Yeah.
for part-time?
Yes, that's
Oh, I thought it was
what you
32.
hire on for, but, because once you hire them at that 40 hour, you have to consider them a full-time employee.
And I don't know if I didn't hear, but the capital expenditures, what's made it into the budget, what hadn't?
The capital, outlay request that we had was the building upgrades, the air service, 50,000. That one, we are currently waiting on an exact quote, so we didn't include it in this budget. We can reassess once we.
Heath, will that be covered by a grant or?
Counselor, no, at this time, no, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I know the raise grant is still there, but I'm not sure what we can do for actual building expansion with that grant.
Okay, and Lee, what's that going to, what does that entail? That 50,000, what will that,
So we need to remodel and upgrade our restrooms.
okay?
We need to get furniture. Right now in the terminal, I don't know how long it's been since you've been out there, but
It's been a few years.
we've got 2 couches and a recliner. So we're gonna have to get rid of those and put in more airport-style seating.
Okay,
If we have, say this plane sells full planes both directions, we're looking at probably having somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 to 120 people through that terminal at a time. So if they're waiting to get on the plane, and we got 30 people there waiting to get on the plane, and then 30 people come in to drop them off and want to wait for the plane to leave, like they used to be able to do, then we'll have a lot of people in there. So we need to rearrange our seating or redo our seating to be able to accommodate.
and you have ample parking?
Do you
We're
foresee that?
gonna have to work on that as well. We do have ample parking.
Counselor, there's still a lot of moving targets we haven't got nailed down yet.
Okay.
I mean, really, do you really think there's going to be 30 people going, 30 people coming back?
God, I hope so.
No way.
We have to
Well,
prepare.
that's what we're planning for, Counselor. That's what we're planning for.
Yeah, we're trying to prepare
Well,
for
and,
that.
you know, I can tell you from my experience as a traveler, what makes Roswell so appealing over El Paso is the free parking. Because when you factor in the parking, the higher airfare at Roswell is offset by the cost of parking. in El Paso.
And travel time, just in
See,
general, right?
that's what I think. I mean, I love going to Roswell. And
So
grabbing,
You know,
so maybe
I'm
that-
skeptical of the numbers, but I'm gonna embrace Counselor Brophy's enthusiasm and hope for the best.
I think with the right amount of promotion, the right amount of advertising, if we get that, what was it, a partial amortization with that grant, right, to reduce the ticket pricing?
Yes, Counselor, yeah, it'd be 145 a ticket one way.
Yeah, 145 ticket one way. I mean, get out of town. That's way cheaper and easier than driving to Roswell or El Paso or Albuquerque or any of those places. I mean,
to go to Denver than to go somewhere
yeah,
else.
than to go to somewhere else. I mean, that's a significant price break on the ticket pricing. And I think that incentivizing the potential new visitors by having that cheap rate coming in. And then, of course, having the Lee and his welcoming committee there at the airport to just be open arms and welcome to Ruidoso and all of those types of things. I think that we will create a very significant positive impact on those visitors, and I think it'll continue. Obviously, it's up to us to be the best stewards that we can, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not going to be 30 people the first flight. For sure not.
But, I mean, honestly, because, you know, when we had it going to Dallas, I mean, and to me, that is the destination. I had
I
much
agree.
rather go to Denver than to Dallas.
Yeah, DFW
but-
is a nightmare always to fly
But,
into.
and it could be the airline, it wasn't the right fit.
Dallas is just tough.
Houston is worse.
But I don't know.
And
I'm excited about it.
And I don't know, I've never really flown in and out of Denver. I mean, I know Counselor Corey travels, quite a bit, and I've never really flown in and out of
Well,
Denver
it'll
too
be
much.
great for you.
Yeah. And the nice thing in Denver is the smaller planes are all in the same concourse.
Yeah. And they're all on bottom.
Yeah.
I've flown in there before. with-
But you know, I look at Roswell and American Eagles situation. They tried Phoenix, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that was, the revenue was guaranteed on that or not. But they had to stop that. But their Dallas was, I mean, that plane's full.
Tom, I love that. I love that flight.
I know, and I really hope that, you know, terminal-wise, whenever we fly into Denver, you know, obviously I know that Carrie and her team do a great job advertising and marketing for us, but, you know, getting Visit Ruidoso on those kiosks, getting all of those direct flight things put out
Yeah.
there and really putting it in the face of those travelers and having, well, where is Ruidoso? Boom, then they look it up.
Yeah.
Now they got a direct flight here, like, why wouldn't I want to go visit there? And so, again, I agree to the point of Lee saying, I mean, we got to be ready for
Yeah.
30 every flight. We got to
Yeah.
be ready for that, because if we are ill-prepared and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
happens, then it looks like a, you know, forgive my French, a dookie show as soon as they arrive. And we want it to be smooth
Yeah.
and well-executed and prepared and planned. And so the revenue, we may not make that ROI back on that first year of operation and direct expenses, but I think with having a well-put-together plan and staff, then,
Yeah.
you know, people are gonna say, yeah, we had a great time. It was easy in and out, everything was good, and they're gonna come here. So that's where my optimism comes
Yeah,
from anyway.
no, I think.
Councilors, if I may, even if, to Councilor Brophy's point, we don't have 30, even still, our bathroom capacity can't even handle 10.
There you go.
Right? If we had 10 people all
Yeah,
show up
that-
and
yeah,
they're
you
getting
don't-
ready to board, at least 50% of them are going to want to use the bathroom
No,
before
no,
they get on the plane.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
those are,
That's exactly right. You don't think about those kinds of things unless you're coming off of the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know when I get off the airplane, I gotta go.
absolutely.
So, and I don't know, Lee, if you're gonna go down each line on the budget. I'm real confused about the fuel costs.
Page 121, Craig?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, Counselor Corey. Apologize. Yeah, you
For
only has,
the one that just says fuel,
Well,
The
no,
For-
top one?
I'm looking at jet fuel and
Okay.
100 octane.
So-
This is a significant reduction in the budget. You submitted it. Madison, it goes from 650 to 400.
And part of that was in order to balance the budget. Once again, this is a starting point, so if you decide to add it back in, we are able to. We just have to find another recurring cost, that we're able to balance it by.
Well, they didn't even use 300,000 yet, though.
It could be encumbered for the remainder of the year, Counselor
So,
Letterman.
where is, how much revenue are we generating from the FBO to offset that?
If you refer back to page 118, Counselor Corey. Currently, our budgeted revenues, now we did have to budget conservatively with the airport, as with most of our revenues. Our jet fuel sales, I'm sorry, year to date, that would be your low.
Year-to-date is,
380?
that's the tax, 300,000.
Yeah,
But
300.
the low lead is at 110, and then the,
We're on the lower end on the fuel sales. Currently, it's not a self-sustaining.
It's not, we're subsidizing.
Well, we have to subsidize it.
Even the fuel costs?
The majority of the airport,
Yeah, but I'm talking
just the
about
fuel cost.
just the fuel.
that one is subsidized.
And, okay, and I'm a layman. Why aren't we charging the fuel for what it costs?
So go over what your markup is.
Okay, so on our jet fuel, we are charging a $2.25 markup.
Okay.
And, guess I'm not understanding what she's saying about the subsidizing of the fuel. I know that we're subsidizing the entire budget out of general fund because of
So
our,
what you're saying, Lee, is we charge at least what it costs us.
yes.
And then some.
If I could interrupt, this is Judy again, I'm back.
Okay.
Yes.
Council Corey, Mayor, Council, we have been trying to figure out for the past couple of years, we're charging over cost, but somehow when you look at jet fuel sales coming in versus what we're paying for the cost of the gas or the fuel, somehow it's not coming out right, and I think it's because we're not adjusting the inventory on a monthly or quarterly basis. So when you look at his budget, it looks like he's buying way more fuel than what we're pulling in as far as revenues. And so we were gonna work with Lee this next quarter to see if we can figure out why it's not, because he's selling jet fuel, but for some reason it looks like we're not charging enough. So I think I'm missing a part of the calculation or a part of the transactions that aren't making sense to make his P&L look right.
Okay, so you're taking care of it.
Yeah, I'm looking into it, and I think that's the part we're missing because we're not taking into effect that he has inventory left over. And he buys the fuel at different prices and stuff, and so I'm gonna have to come up with either first in, first out, or an average price to fully cost the invoice and take that cost out monthly so that we can do a better budget adjustment, a better budget report.
Okay, thanks, Judy.
You're welcome.
Lee, that markup, when I was first on council, we had a problem with pilots flying to Alamogordo or even Carrizozo
Yeah.
to buy fuel. Is that still an issue?
That was a Hunter low lead issue that, so when I first got here, the board had got them to set a 75-cent markup.
Okay.
Fuel was too high. After I got here, they did that for 6 months and then reevaluated it. And they come up with a formula. And we were gonna talk to y'all about that anyway. They came up with a formula that I have to go into AirNav, which is one of the aviation sites, and I can look up and see what fuel prices are within a 100-mile radius. So I would take the highest price fuel and the lowest price fuel, add them together, divide it by 2, subtract 5%.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So, the problem is with that, and Heath and I were looking at it the other day, and the lowest priced fuel right now is, almost $2 lower than the highest priced one. And that's down in Artesia.
Of course.
There's a lot of private jets in and out of Artesia too, though, so I'm sure they're using a higher volume of fuel, right?
Counselors, if I may, when Lee brought this to my attention, when we talked about this formula, taking the high and low out of 10, or it was eight airport sites on that list, it skews the number. It skews the average, because Artesia was well over $2 below everybody else on that list. And then you add into that the minus the 5% on top of that, it really backs the airport up into a corner. Yes, I understand we want to have fuel prices be competitive, to make sure we're bringing air traffic, not deterring air traffic away. But at the same time, the regular gas station isn't fluctuating their price based off of the lowest
Yeah.
in the entire region. Nobody operates that way. So this is something that we definitely would like to have the council, sometime in the future, reevaluate that, because that formula that Lee mentioned was approved by council. And I think it should be worth reevaluating that thought process.
And I think I asked the mayor this before. The IPUSA's going to be making jet fuel. Are we gonna be buying any of that ourselves, or is that
He said no
contracted
yesterday.
out?
No, all of our fuel comes through AppFuel, which is our fuel provider. So wherever they get their fuel from, that's where we have to get our fuel from.
Okay.
And most of our jet fuel either comes out of El Paso or Albuquerque.
And that's a contract that's good till 2030.
Okay.
So on the Hunter Low Lead that he was speaking of, whenever I figured off our last load of fuel, our markup or our profit margin was actually lower than the 75 cents that council had set it at. So that's what sparked this conversation with Ron and Heath, was how low do you want me to put the fuel, and how much revenue do we want to lose by using this formula?
Yeah.
So that's why we're gonna try to revisit that.
Okay.
And bring something back. And if we just set a standard markup, then we'll stay at that. One thing, in the past, we have eaten the fees, credit card fees. So we're gonna start charging those
Yep.
back, and those actually come out of our profit.
Yeah.
So whenever AvFuel would pay us back, like on our contract fuels, stuff like that, well, they would take those fees out, they would keep those fees. So,
And as an aside, the card issues, have those been resolved now?
the
The,
gate cards,
yes, sir.
What kind of issues are you referring to?
Well, I mean, there was all this outrage. Has that simmered down?
It has simmered down. Good. Yeah, it has simmered down. We've had a few that, you know, we had one that lost his card and he refused to pay the $50 that.
To
he
replace
signed
it.
He signed the
Sure.
thing saying he would do it, and he's like, I'm not doing that, so it's like, okay, well, then he finally found his other card. But little things like that, and then we still have some that, well, I don't have my card, I forgot my card, can we get in gate 6? And that's something that we put in that card agreement, that gate 6 was not an option. Because entering gate 6, which is on the east side of the terminal, once they enter it, then they have to drive across the commercial ramp to get to the hangar area. And that's
Yeah,
what,
let's not let people roll
what
through
we're
there.
trying to put a stop to is people driving around on the commercial ramp.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, we still have those few that, let's see, what we have next.
You just want to go through your changes?
So, let's see. Pretty much all of them are pretty much the same. We got a few differences.
There was a large increase on the insurance as well. I mean, I didn't think it'd be that much for 2 employees, but if we're only but getting one, is that 25%?
Yeah, that was a significant increase. I just saw that as well, right?
Which insurance are you looking at?
I'm looking at the group insurance line item 530.
Page 120.
Counselor Solis, that was due to the 23% increase in health insurance.
Really?
Yes.
And that's including the one,
Because,
Counselor Salas?
yes,
So anytime that anybody has any vacancies, we budget the insurance at full family, full cost, the most expensive plan.
that's right.
If he has-
You've
So if he has
mentioned
any
that.
vacancies, that could be it. But usually what happens is when people are hired on, sometimes they don't take the most expensive plan.
Right, right.
well, in addition to what Judy said, going from a part-time to a full-time, part-time does not include any insurance.
Right, so, okay.
So you're in. budget. All
You have a
these are-
change in your safety equipment. You went up 8,000.
Yeah, my safety equipment, which one was it?
You went up 8,000 to
Okay,
13.
we went up to 13,000 on it with hiring the new guy that we just got to fill a current position, and then in hopes of getting the new positions, we're going to have to purchase turnout gear for the firefighting turnout gear for the ARF portion of it. And then as the extra cost for other safety equipment for the new employees.
When, what's the status, Lee, of weren't you redoing the lighting?
On the runways?
runway? What's
We
the-
are, we're looking at, hopefully, we're looking at July for a start on that. I talked to the subcontractor yesterday. So we're waiting on 2 regulators and our lights. We've got all of our signs and one of our regulators in. So now we're just waiting on 2 more regulators, and those are 6 to 8 month lead time.
And what's the downtime on the runway gonna be?
There shouldn't be any downtime. There may be like 4 days, up to 4 days when they're working the intersection of the 2 runways. But the rest of it, they're going to set up to where they can on and off for flights.
Okay,
So they'll get out there, do as much as they can. Flights coming in, they'll back
so
out.
you'll be coordinating that with
Yes, sir.
Contra?
Yes, sir. Well, I talked to them yesterday. The lighting vault, they're gonna look into going ahead and coming in beforehand and try to get it built. That way, whenever the other parts show up to do the lighting project, then the vault is already built, it's ready to go. They can just start wiring it in. That I have there.
Your professional services. Right.
And can you help me remember what we
Because we
changed on
didn't
that?
have any if we didn't have any projected professional services, we didn't budget it in.
Okay, that's for the rate studies and stuff we're doing, correct?
Correct, so those will
Okay.
be rollovers.
So, the professional services, we come up on it. Right now, we're doing lease studies.
That is.
And we're looking at, when they're done with that, we're trying to work in conjunction, if we can, with doing rate studies as well.
Right.
So we're upping our professional services in order to be able to get our rate studies done.
So we took it out of budget. Because the rate studies are an open PO, in the current year, it's not budgeted in next year because it'll be a rollover. So originally on the department requested, we had it at 700,000.
Yeah.
And in the proposed budget, it'll be 0, just because of the rollover.
I thought I had.
And that's including the leasing,
It's okay.
doing the leasing, right? Reviewing all that, or we've completed all that?
That's including doing all that.
Okay.
I don't think you had any other changes.
Professional services.
I don't think I did.
Professional services.
That's everything else. Well, here's one, travel and schools.
Goes up because of your new employee.
So the travel and schools went up because of the new employee and, the hopes of getting other 2 employees. Being able to send them to their ARF training.
Yeah.
And most of the other training will be done in-house.
Same with the training.
What a funny acronym, ARF. Just, sorry, every time he says it, just gets me a little bit.
Says the guy that works with cesspools.
Yeah, you know, yeah. ARF. Sounds like something I'd say at work.
I expect that in your next reel.
Oh, yeah, my next video. Just out here ARFing around.
Okay, I'll start just saying aircraft rescue and firefighting.
Oh, okay. I'm learning my acronyms, so I'm just, you know.
Or your decrease, or your increase in,
I get like that when they say the damn house. The damn.
30,000.
Okay, on
Yeah, the damn house.
equipment maintenance,
Okay.
we went from 50 to 80,000. So I've put, new tires on our Class B ARF truck, or aircraft rescue firefighting
You can
truck.
stick with ARF, it's cool.
We just had our inspections done last month, and there are several things on both of our, fire trucks that need to be repaired and, brought up to date. We need new nozzles. Our Class B truck needs a roof turret and a bumper turret. And the nozzles on the Rescue One need to be replaced. We're working on, going ahead and replacing some of them out of this current budget. But we gonna do that, and we also need to have the company, which is, Global ARF, will come in and go through the trucks and drain all the pumps, change the oils and all the pumps and everything on the trucks and get everything. There's a few leaks on them and stuff that's just years of use and stuff that needs to be addressed. So I want a budget on that to be able to address those issues.
And then your maintenance of runways. We went down on that.
How much did we drop that?
6,000.
6,000? I wish I would have done that. So, maintenance of runways, we dropped it. Our runways are in pretty good shape. Good. Or they're actually in very good shape.
Thank you.
The maintenance on those is just, basically paint touch-up. I ordered it's called a FOD razor. It's a little squeegee-looking thing that, with a screen on it that you drag around behind a gator or a golf cart, and it cleans the FOD off of them. So if we just need to get out there real quick, before we can get the sweeper out there, we can run that down through there. So I bought this out of our last budget, and that's kind of what it's for, is things like that.
So, we talked a little bit about the building, and you guys are gonna get all that worked out. We had the design proposal for the upgrades to the new terminal. Are we pursuing at this time the funding to actually build that?
Mayor Crawford, Council Corey, we submitted an FAA grant application only for the design or the architectural work for the new terminal building. And we haven't heard anything on that
And the
yet.
FAA representative's here in town right now. So, what's the name of the company? LJR? LJA is working on getting that done. So we're still pursuing it, yes. We haven't gotten it yet. But you covered the tough shed or the,
Yes, you got
okay, you covered all that.
So we saw pictures of the new terminal, but they haven't done the
No.
full spec.
No, this is what we could get. Are you interested in going after these kind of grants? Yes.
Okay.
What do we need to do? Yes. And so that's where we're going after the planning. And we met the architects that did that design were here. We had dinner with them last night at that LJA. I can't remember what he told me it stood for. To move that forward, and so we're still trying to get that moving forward. But right now, we'll have to make some temporary
Yeah, and
adjustments.
We went over that. He said he's working on that.
Mhm.
So, okay.
But we haven't got it yet, but we have a good shot at it, is what they keep telling me. And the guy last night, or the guy with the FAA, he kind of had this deer in the headlight looks, and I said, Tim hadn't said anything, I mean, not Tim, Mike. Mike, he hadn't said anything to you? And he goes, oh, yeah. He said, but
you know, and what it is we're surrounded by a bunch of airport.
So we can't.
So he's not one to really talk
Yeah.
about it, and I'm like, okay, I got it.
So, once we have the design, how do we pay for the construction?
We get a FAA grant, that's what the other guys, that's what we're buttering him up for right now.
And Mayor Crawford, members of the council, FAA funding, and then we might have to do some stacking of additional funding, because that's going to be,
A cocktail?
yes.
Cocktail of funding.
Lee, I think you need to order more of those shirts.
Yeah.
We'll sell those, and also Heath may have mentioned too, we spoke to the state aviation director last night. She had dinner with us, and she has some money she needs to spend by May 30th, I believe. So we're gonna
Go after
work
it.
quick to tap into some of that, so.
And Bob and those guys that are with the state fund and Jane, all of them are aware and pushing in that direction.
Well, exciting things, Lee.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Building improvement.
Lee, I just also, they were looking at Contour at May 5th to do that.
Yep.
He has the FAA inspections that week, so.
Yes, my annual FAA inspection is the 5th, 6th, and 7th of that week. So that might not be a optimal time to ribbon cutting or anything like that during the middle of an
I
inspection.
got Clay Bailey calling.
Okay, do you want to check with your FAA inspector, or you want to reach out, and then I'll visit with Contour Air and find out, just let them know, but if is that date set in stone?
That date is set.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the inspectors set their schedules a year in advance. So they're going from one airport to the next. So when they set it, we're here at this day, so be ready. And I guess that's about all we have on this, if y'all have any other questions for me.
Good
I
job.
don't. You guys have?
No, Mayor Pro Tem?
Very excited.
Good learning exercise, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any
I'd
other
love to come
questions?
out and see.
Everett?
No, sir, I don't have any questions. I'm just excited to get some
What do you need to?
wheels in the air.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'll email you and let you know.
Thank you,
Mountain,
Lee.
give you a tour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And man, I'm smelling that food back there,
Just said it was ready.
and it's time to eat. So we will recess the meeting and reconvene after we eat and take a nap.
Yeah.
Well, no, minus the nap. I may take a nap.